begun around Los Angeles cleaning up.
Crews are going through this, I believe it was a small community, and they're finding out if there's any valuables that can get back to the residents.
Luis Jimenez with CAL FIRE is in Pacific Palisades. I'm Ed Donahue.
It's back to Capitol Hill today for Trump Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi.
My overriding objective will be to return the Department of Justice to its core mission of keeping Americans safe and vigorously prosecuting criminals. And that includes getting back to basics: gangs, drugs, terrorists, cartels, our border, and our foreign adversaries.
It's the second day of Bondi's Senate confirmation hearing. President Biden warning of a dangerous concentration of power among a small group of the ultra-wealthy that poses a danger to democracy. The warning came last night in Mr. Biden's Oval Office address to the nation. In the midst of a busy holiday shopping season, the government reports a modest rise in retail sales last month. Sales rose 0.4% in December from November. Watching Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 140 points. NASDAQ futures up 72. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free, too, with their 3-week Quick Start Kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF, 800-4-RELIEF for Relief Factor.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Virginia's statewide officials calling on state lawmakers to protect women's sports. They unveiled legislation to require students in schools and colleges to play only on sports teams that are consistent with their biological sex and not transgender identity. You get details from correspondent Anne Marie Morgan.
Attorney General Jason Mayares said it's unfair when biological males compete against women. He said, trust the science.
Males who've undergone puberty have an undeniable athletic advantage. They jump 25% higher than females and throw about 25% further. Males run approximately 11% faster and accelerate 20% faster. They punch 30 to 162% harder. They are approximately 30% stronger than females of equivalent stature and mass.
He also described real-life injuries in such cases. Anne Marie Morgan reporting.
News and analysis at townhall.com. The government scaling back its projection of population growth in America.
The Congressional Budget Office had projected last year that 383 million people would be living in the United States in 2055. Now it's projecting that roughly 342 million will be living in the country in 30 years. That's because of declining birth rates and less immigration expected. The U.S. population is expected to grow to 350 million by the end of this year, but then population growth is expected to slow beginning in 2036. Donna Warder, Washington.
A man fatally shot a Texas sheriff's deputy in Houston, prompting a massive search involving multiple law enforcement agencies. The Houston Police Department says a suspect was later shot and killed by law enforcement officers. The Brazoria County Sheriff says the suspect opened fire on Deputy Jesus Vargas as the deputy was trying to serve an arrest warrant. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm digging through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody. Week just seems to be zipping by here, at least for me. I don't know. It seems like this week's going pretty quick, but hopefully for you as well. But happy Thursday. I was looking at the weather, and I know we've been kind of talking about all week. It's going to gradually get warm, and then Friday's going to be real warm, and then over the weekend it's going to get all cold and miserable again. I'm going to amend it and say enjoy today, because today is now where I thought yesterday was going to be your Shangri-La day. Today is now your Shangri-La day, because today it's like sunny and 55. Tomorrow is supposed to be sunny and 60-something.
Mm-hmm.
But the winds are blowing tomorrow. They're talking like gusting to 45 miles an hour and all this tomorrow afternoon. So today, you're sunny and 55 with your south 5-mile-an-hour winds is your Shangri-La.
Yeah. So why can't we just have nice things? Why can't it just be sunny? It has to be sunny and...
Yeah, so if you do have outdoor things,
get them done today.
Do them today.
So tomorrow's going to be less than ideal. Where's my zipper? Allegedly.
Oh, you went allegedly
I'm glad
today.
I did today, because I was like, well, I want to wait till the perfect nice day to wear.
Does it fit okay and everything?
It does, yeah. It's a good fit.
Good.
Although the thing with a 3/4 sleeve, is it always feels like it's like I need to
either
pull
too
it down
long.
further.
Yeah, it's like too short.
Yeah, it's too long of a short sleeve and too short of a long sleeve. So I just have exposed that part of my arm. My wrists are cold.
Well, that's so you can get the Popeye anchor,
right?
And go and tattoo on that spot. Yeah, it's perfect for showing that little stuff.
Exactly.
But
I'm tatted down to my elbows. Did you have a style for me? Boy, do we ever.
Allegedly. But well, good. I'm glad it worked out. I saw it online. I said, if any of shirts scream Sean, it's this shirt.
It's this one. If you don't know the reference, by the way, go watch season 1 of the Canadian TV series Letterkenny.
Yes,
you can find it on Hulu.
Which Sean and I have referenced 1.7 million times on the show. But
well, it's probably a sick ostrich.
Allegedly.
You need at least 2 people take down an ostrich.
Oh, man. I don't want to get that whole conversation going.
For people who know the series Letterkenny, it's right up there with high school band nerds referencing Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
right?
With the whole swallow debate.
Yes.
You know, it could be carried by an African swallow. Oh, sure, an African swallow may be, but not a European swallow. That's my point.
Yeah, there is a... Yeah, you know what? I never thought of it till you said it, but you know what? There is a lot of parallel in their comedy with Python.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whereas Python, it has more physical in it.
Yeah.
But as far as the way they come hit you like the one after the other, the quick quip with the other quip and then a quip within a quip.
Yep.
That is very Letterkenny.
And very much not responding to the other person's quip, just bouncing line off of line.
Yeah.
That's the best part about being a nerd when you were in high school is all your friends just sit around quoting Monty Python.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest, it's Clerks with Kevin Smith. Mm-hmm. You know, when that
Same
movie,
thing.
it's same kind of boom, 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 boom. It's that style of humor, and that's kind of our jam.
Absolutely.
But happy Thursday. Enjoy today's weather because it's probably going to be the best you get for the foreseeable future.
for the little while.
Yeah, but don't be confused by the 60s tomorrow. The winds are coming with it, and I guess it'd be, little nice, but still 60s with 40-mile-an-hour winds ain't that nice.
Yeah.
So.
Tain't great.
Tain't great at all. But and then of course by like Sunday night, we're looking at snow chances and all that. Like there's a rain chance Saturday night, rain snow chance, and then Sunday pretty dry. But then
highs are only in the 30s, I think.
Yeah, that's Sunday's dry but cold.
Yeah.
And then Martin Luther King Day Monday, there's like a 20% chance of snow with a high of only 33. And then Tuesday, the high is 34, and there's a 20% Monday night with an overnight low of 13.
Oof.
You're right.
Oof.
So, and oh, by the way, Sunday night's not no picnic either. 16 for an overnight low Sunday night. Saturday night is the night with all the snow and rain chances. Actually, tonight is a warm night too. 31 now. So we were going to be 33. So I was like, woo, over freezing, but 31. So
yeah, but still, that's barely under.
Compared to 13, yeah, that's not so bad. But all I'm saying is...
long as the dew point cooperates first thing in the morning, I won't have to scrape a windshield. Woo-hoo!
Yeah. All I'm saying is another thing, since we're talking about this, we're going to have Mark Green join us at Harvest Ministries here in a bit. But with these temps coming, organizations like Harvest Ministries, Roswell Food Not Bombs, they could really use your support here with donations. I know Food Not Bombs, they're collecting sleeping bags, coats, the whole anything to keep people warm.
Yeah.
To get out there and so and actually we'll talk with Mark here. They really need volunteers right now, but we'll kind of talk in the big scope of Harvest Ministries here in just a bit. But I'm just saying, with these temps, the way they're getting and everything else, and lack of stable facilities to house people, they could really use your help.
Absolutely.
So,
if you can, please do.
And I don't care what anybody says, no one's prepared for 13-degree temps overnight low. It's just that's people not making it to the next morning type weather.
Exactly.
So we're dealing with here.
Nothing to do with mismanagement.
Yeah. Sorry, we just saw the Bill Burr clip talk about the fires, and you say, oh, these people watch the video now. It's like, oh, that looks like mismanagement. It's pretty good. Bill Burr keeps it real for everybody.
Some nerd on the internet looks at a video and says, oh, that looks like mismanagement.
Yeah. What I like is that he's real with everybody. You know what I mean? Like, some conservative people are like, I like, hey, wait a minute. And then the opposite side, he's like, I like, hey, wait a minute.
Hey, wait a second. Yep.
And I'm like, that means they're doing something.
Right in the creamy middle.
That's right. I was trying to be nice and avoid using that.
I know. I'm bringing creamy back. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I had me 4 eggs yesterday, and I loved all 4 of them.
I did. I noticed a couple of walkbacks.
I did. I can't help it. Those eggs, and the more I eat them, the more I'm digging them. The more I'm like, I think I want another bag.
But I respect the fact that you're keeping them in there, so that there's at least some kind of. I have to walk in there to get, because I know you were sitting here, you'd clean that bag
I'd
out.
be sitting here doing work, and next thing you know, like, I'm having an egg in this frying time.
There's just a pile of single-serve egg containers.
It's like, I think I need to go to a meeting.
This is pistachios all over again.
Right.
I think that's what it is. I think you just like food that requires a little bit of effort.
Maybe that's it, you know, because I do enjoy crab.
Right.
Like, it's one of my favorite foods. You know, I'll eat my Maryland crab. I'll corn and bread on that stuff. And let's just say you got to do a little work to get to that food.
You do. So maybe you appreciate the effort that is required to put into getting to the food.
That's true. And I am a big fan of meats on bone or stick. I like I'm a big fan of those. So and I think that's part of the thing, you know.
That's just the more primal side of things, because I know some people that just can't see their meat attached to bone.
And
like
then
it grosses them out. Personally, I'm like, bring it on.
Well, in the world we live in, bone means it's probably real.
That's right. And for what it's worth, that stuff all around the bone, maybe even a little in the bone, that's flavor country right there.
That's right. That's just
good stuff.
Creamy deliciousness. All right, let me give you the rundown for today's show. As I mentioned just a minute ago, Mark Green with Harvest Ministries will join us here in just a few minutes, give us an update. And like I said, they are in the need of volunteers right now. So we will talk about that here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15 or so, Don Weld will be joining us wearing his Friends of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge hat. They've got meetings and some events coming up they want to talk a little bit about here. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we're going to have Gina Yeager join us from the District Attorney's Office, the 5th Judicial District Attorney's Office, and she's going to join us. She is the lady that we've had on the show a bunch of times, but she's kind of the DA dog lady. That's kind of her official, unofficial title then. So we'll get an update from her. But she really deals with helping with witnesses and getting them prepared for cases and things like that. That's kind of part of her job. But the DA dog program is something that she runs and puts together. So we'll talk with her about the dogs and everything else going on at the DA's office here in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all of your newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, a gander at your weather, officially.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure overhead, and we're looking pretty good for the next few days. It'll be a little on the cool side today, mid-50s, but we should get sunshine. A few clouds overnight, low to mid-30s, and then tomorrow, a little bit gusty, a few more clouds, but we should see some sunshine as well. Wind gusting at 35 to 50 miles an hour tomorrow, and our afternoon highs in the low 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 28 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 81%. Winds are calm at the moment. We are looking at sunny skies and a high of 55 today. As you mentioned, winds will be out of the south at 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, 31 for an overnight low tonight. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Like I said, tomorrow it's going to be warm temperature-wise, mostly sunny with a high of 62, but those winds will be picking up 10 to 20 early, and then increase in 25, 35. Like I said, could see gusts as high as 35 or 45, 50 mile an hour tomorrow. Tomorrow night, clear. Overnight low of 28. Winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. So it looks like those winds will wrap up hopefully in the early evening hours. Saturday, sunny and 54. North winds at around 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of sprinkles early, then it changing over to a little bit of snow flurries, things like that. I don't think we get any accumulations. They're talking sprinkles and flurries, so don't expect much. But they're talking mostly cloudy, and then with that overnight low of what is it? I can't read it. 30. Oh, 20. Okay, I was like, I couldn't read it. Sorry, my glasses need to get thicker. Sunday, we're looking at no more talk of moisture, but cloudy, and a high of only 35. And then Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Monday, a 20% chance of snow, partly cloudy, 23 for a high. And then we'll be in the 30s on Tuesday, in the mid-40s by midweek next week. All right, 7:18, we're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Mark Green with Harvest Ministries will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Sign up today for the 3rd annual Artesia 4-H fundraising shoot. The Freedom Shoot Red, White, and Youth is Saturday, January 18th at the Eddy County Shooting Range and features a 100-round sporting clay course. This year also includes an archery course. Gun boards, raffles, door prizes, and lunch is provided. For more information or to sign up, call 575-513-0144. Support the Artesia 4-H and sign up today for the Freedom Shoot, January 18th.
Whether it's NFL on Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night, or college football, Game Day Roswell is your #1 destination, with a kitchen open for all your favorite snacks and apps, and a stock bar with a full line of beers and spirits, with happy hour pricing all the time, including $4 bottles and $5 16-ounce tap. And try the Game Day Signature Shot Cinnamon Rocky Mountain Honey Whiskey, open Monday through Friday at 3, Saturdays at 11, and Sundays at 10:30 at 913 South Sunset in Roswell. Game Day, the place to go for sports.
Hey Roswell, Happy New Year! Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're gonna love. We resolved to sell more new Fords in 2025. So we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it. Because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10 grand. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Mi nombre es Gilberto y soy del Albuquerque, Nuevo México. Siempre supe la importancia que es un seguro médico, pero nunca pensé que me salvaría la vida. Después de tener un seguro médico a través de Be Well, mi doctor dijo que mi corazón apenas funcionaba y me hicieron una operación que me salvó la vida. Y mi seguro lo cubrió todo. Gracias, Be Well, por ayudarme a encontrar el seguro médico que me salvó la vida.
Find the right health insurance for you at BeWellNM.com.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Harvest Ministries, Pastor Mark Greenback with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mike.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you. Thanks for having me.
How's life at Harvest Ministries? I know
Harvest
busy.
is going strong. It is, yeah. It's busy.
I know it's been the last 6 months of the year have been an extreme case of needs for a lot of folks around here.
So it has been, yeah.
Between Ruidoso and Roswell, it's been a busy year for Harvest Ministries and organizations like it.
Right, all of our regular stuff, plus all of the extracurricular floods and fires and all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So. Which really kind of gets to, the big thing that, we're talking about here is with need increasing and things like that. You guys are needing more volunteers, folks that are able to spend some time serving at Harvest Ministries, and whether it's a couple hours a day or a week or whatever it is you can offer, it would be much appreciated right now.
Absolutely. We have, for the 13 years I've been there, we have not had a volunteer shortage at Harvest. I mean, we have had volunteers who come up and they will work for a while and say, well, there's nothing for me to do. I'm going to go ahead and go. That's not the case right now.
Sure. Well, so, and here's, this is people with the time available to do long time are generally retired folks, things like that. And after a while, retired folks, life happens, and you can't, you don't have the ability to serve as much as you
we have people who still serve we have people who are in their 80s.
Sure.
And a couple in their 90s. And so
8-hour days for them is a long ask.
Yeah. So it's not 8 hours. So for distribution, we're open Monday through Thursday, and then we also work doing pickups and all that stuff on Friday.
Sure.
And so it's Monday through Thursday, and most of our volunteers work 3 hours or less.
Okay.
So it's generally going to be between 8 and 11, 11:30, something like that. So it's not long hours, and some of them a few come every day, but most of them come once or twice a week. So it's not a huge commitment, but it is a tremendous help to us.
And this is really one of those where many hands make less work type of things. If we have more volunteers and let's face it, some of the work does require picking up cans and heavy things, and I'm sorry, we don't want our 80 or 90-year-olds to be doing that type of work.
So for that kind of thing, we have our employees or our younger people doing all the heavy lifting.
But we could, so I would love to see families do this together and bring the young ones with them to show them that server's heart.
We actually do during the holidays. Usually we'll have it's usually a mom and some kids will come up, but sometimes the whole family will come up. So during the holidays, school break, and during the summer, We do have families come up. And
Good.
Yeah, we always enjoy it.
Well,
yeah.
Continue that, but if we've got, right now we could use a little bit more of that, and if folks have the time available, please reach out. We would love to have, even if it's just an hour a day or an hour or 2 hours a week, whatever it is, it would be a blessing to us to help.
Absolutely. And we've lost some of our seniors. We lost a couple of wonderful guys last year, Jim Lair and Jim Watson. Stan Lair and Jim Watson, who went on to their reward. I can tell you, they definitely went on to a reward.
They had the server's heart. And
Stan was in his 90s, and Jim's an incredible story. So Jim Watson, this man, just one of the nicest people you ever meet in your life. He was from Minnesota, bought a RV park in Carlsbad, sight unseen. And the thing was dilapidated, so I think 120 spaces, something like that. It's a huge place. But he and his wife renovated it, and they got it just before the oil boom. And so everything filled up.
The planet line,
the
planets aligned there.
Exactly. So he was able to sell that for a lot of money, and then moved up here and retired. But then he didn't know what to do with himself. He said, I became bored and depressed and thought, what am I doing here? And one of the pastors from Christchurch said, you need to go talk to Pastor Mark down at Harvest. And he came down and talked to us, started volunteering, never left. Volunteered every single day. For 10 years, Jim was back.
I love.
And one of our most faithful, and not only, he didn't just volunteer at Harvest, he caught the burden for the homeless, and he would go out himself. He would, at his own expense, he would buy them food, take care of them.
So he actually built
like
relationships with folks there, and that's the key when it comes to those homeless communities. You really, the trust is a big thing there, and so it takes a lot of working to build a trust with that, and he was able to go in and do that.
He
so
was,
that's impressive.
And Jim wasn't, so he didn't spend the last 10 years of his life wondering if the weather was good enough for golf or where are we going to eat today or, Reader's Digest condensed books. There was nothing wrong with any of those things.
Sure.
But he spent the last 10 years of his life, the first half of the day, serving his community. And
he found his purpose again.
Exactly.
So
retirees, people who just have a little extra, or if you work a different shift of the day, maybe you work nights or evenings, something like that, and you can come once or twice a week and volunteer 2 or 3 hours. It is a tremendous help for us.
I would even offer, much like the scenario, the story you're telling here, sometimes when you hit certain plateaus in life and things, you do seek purpose or seek, what do I do now? What's my thing? My kids are raised. What do I do next? Whatever that milestone in life happens, you have those in life, and you are seeking, all right, what's going to keep the juices flowing now?
I did a study a while back on what happens when people retire if they don't have a definite purpose for their lives, that their cognitive abilities start going down exponentially from the first year on. But in just doing word puzzles, things like that, they think, well, I'll keep my mind sharp. Your mind knows that those are mindless activities, and you still lose cognitive function. So
it's been around a while too, your brain.
So if you're retiring, or if you've got extra time on your hands, do something with a purpose.
Sure.
And volunteer at Harvest or somewhere else, in your church. But stay active. Keep your mind active.
Absolutely. And I say this a lot, and I know people get tired of hearing it because I say it probably ad nauseum on this radio. But if every able-bodied person in Roswell, New Mexico, picked one thing, I don't care what the passion is, but pick thing that spoke to them, whether it's working in youth sports or working with animals or working with homeless or working with like a place like Harvest Ministries or whatever charitable thing you're doing. If every able-bodied, just pick the one thing. You don't have to pick 6 or just one thing and spend a couple hours a week involved with that. I guarantee most of our nonprofit organizations probably wouldn't have many of those kind of volunteer issues.
Yeah, because you probably know people who really just that's not their thing, so they don't get involved in anything. And you're absolutely right. And sometimes you don't know that you enjoy something until you do it.
Yeah.
And at Harvest Ministries, our volunteers come in. They usually grab a cup of coffee, sit around and talk until we get busy. And once we get busy, it's all hands on deck. And then when it winds down, they stand around, talk for a while, and then they leave. So it's good fellowship,
Absolutely.
good work, for a good cause.
I was about to say, yes, you're out serving and helping, but I'm going to take a stab that every volunteer takes more home with them every night than they given. You know what I mean? It's just the nature of the work and how you feel after all said.
And when you're working at Harvest Ministries, you know you're doing something good. It's not always pleasant. You know, some of our people have, especially if they're homeless. Many of our homeless, not all, but many of our homeless have either drug, alcohol addiction, or mental
health
or
issues,
emotional issues,
or both,
and or all together. And they're not easy to deal with sometimes. And so it's not always pleasant. But when you leave for the day, you know you have done something good. You have helped your fellow man, and somebody who's in a desperate situation doesn't even have a place to shower, to store their stuff or whatever, and you've given them a sense of normalcy for the day.
And folks like that, it's all about picking away at the armor a little bit. So day one, it's a little cantankerous. Day two, a little less. You know what I mean? But as the relationship builds, it goes from hating each other probably to, it's all right, dude. You just misunderstood. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. And you see the people around town, and you call them by name. Hey, how are you doing today? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you know them. They know you.
Yeah.
And they also know that you care for them.
Absolutely.
And so it really...
And humanity,
it makes a huge difference.
Showing the humanity and showing that love, that's killing with kindness. That is exactly what's going on at Harvest Ministries. And it's like, I know where you're coming from. Despite all that, we're going to love you regardless. And if you do that enough times, it starts sinking in, and it starts peeling away at the issues, the walls that they're building, and they start opening their heart to humanity again. And that's despite handing out cans of food and whatever they need, you're handing out a lot of that too.
Yeah, we are, and that's what we try to do. It's more than just food. I mean, for those who don't know Harvest Ministry, so we're the food bank in Chaves County, and we distribute to 14 other agencies here in town besides the people that we give to, our clients.
It's an amazing story because it literally grew from the back of a trunk of a car.
It did,
to literally being Roadrunner Food Bank for Southeast New Mexico. Right. And that's and it's all done by people. It wasn't, it was just grassroots. It was starting with just some caring people, and it just grew from there. And it started
with Pastor Ruby and Kurt Gass. Kurt Gass put Ruby in connection with the people he needed to get the thing going, and we're coming up on the 25th anniversary now, so it's been around for a while.
That's amazing.
And for people don't know, we're the food bank, but we also have showers for the homeless. We do their laundry. We feed them breakfast every morning.
Give me a place to get off the streets for at least a little bit to get human a little bit. Yeah.
And we do home church for the homeless on Sunday morning. It's a church service just for the homeless. Anybody can come, but all of our volunteers are from different churches. So we all come together early, 8:30. Of course, the homeless are up early. When the sun's up, they're usually up. And then
depending on when you go to work early in the morning, it's not uncommon to see a line out in front of Harvest Ministries at 6 in the morning.
A lot
or whatever.
of them try to, when the sun's coming up, wherever they are, they're trying to get up and get out before the sun comes up. But so we have a Sunday morning service for them at 8:30, and we feed them breakfast, a hot breakfast. We have a service for them, very short service. Their attention span's not long. You would think it might be with not having much to do every day, but it's not. So it's one of the shortest services in town. We usually try to keep the whole thing to under 30 minutes.
So. Brevity can be your friend sometimes.
That's true. And so here I've got some stats for you from last year.
Yeah.
So we had visits to Harvest for food distribution. That's groceries. We had 14,211 visits.
Wow.
So that's repeat people as well. They can come back every 30 days. So it's not 14,000 people, but 14,211
Well,
visits.
even if you still divide that by 12, that's still a lot of...
It is a lot. Not everybody comes every month. Not everybody needs us every month.
I'm just spitballing, yeah.
Right. So household totals in those 14,000 was 21,650. So, we're definitely taking care of a need here in Chaves County.
Absolutely.
And we served 15,000. So the breakfast and the food distribution, those numbers are kept separate. So we served 15,033 breakfasts last year. And we have processed close to 8 million pounds since we started, but we have grown so fast in the past few years that last year it's kind of like the census. We're always 2,000 short of that 50,000.
Yeah,
well,
right.
we were about 2,000 short of 1 million pounds last year alone. Wow. So 997,622 pounds of food we processed through Harvest Ministries.
That's incredible.
We were able to do that because of volunteers. So we had 11,200 hours of volunteer service. But that sounds like a lot, but that's actually down. So we're usually at 13,000.
Well, and to be honest, Look at the other numbers you're giving me. 14, 1 million, all done by 11,000 hours of people. I mean, that
volunteer
hours. Exactly. You know, that's kind of a paltry number compared to the other numbers.
Yeah. and obviously, we don't have a congregation who gives tithes and offerings.
Sure.
You know, so Harvest Ministries depends on donations from our community, but also donations from Walmart, Sam's, Albertsons, Target, Leprino, other stores, other organizations, food drives, Roswell Independent School District, the university. All of them have food drives. They all keep us going.
Yeah.
So the great thing is that it takes a community, but we have a wonderful community that makes it happen.
Absolutely.
Here.
Well, and that's to get the amounts of food donated and brought here, you kind of have a lot of eggs in different baskets, and that's really what we're but this is why generally Mark will join us here during the summer months or in the late spring months, because like you said, the RASD, that is a big one.
It is huge.
When those kids go on summer break, that dries up a resource there. It really does.
Yeah, we really dry up in the summer. Usually by the end of August, our shelves are bare. So,
I have just like you're talking about the meals served and everything else, and of course you listen to the big picture and people talking. It was like, I know they're bringing more homeless to the community.
Mm-hmm.
From your perspective and what you're seeing at Harvest Ministries, have those numbers grown as far as numbers of people come to your door? Are you seeing a difference at Harvest Ministries?
Yeah, so our numbers are up. But it's not that we're bringing more homeless now. That a lot of the Albuquerque and Clovis, other places shipping their homeless here, that stopped as far as we could tell. Their counterparts here in the city and the county.
So that was happening.
It
definitely
it was happening. Yeah,
they've turned the spigot off for the moment.
They basically said, you either stop this or we're going to make it national news that you're shipping your homeless down here.
Gotcha.
So that stopped.
Good.
And,
well, I mean, we're going to take care of them regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. But most of the homeless we serve are local. Or if they're not local, they've been here for many years.
Gotcha.
So it's not a recent thing.
Well, I would imagine some of these populations that they ship in are transient by nature. They probably moved on to the next thing if they could.
Some are, yeah. A lot are.
So but that being said, some are probably still here where they were dropped off. So
yeah. But if you consider food costs pre-COVID, they're over 30% higher than they were, and I think it's higher than that actually. But our figures, they tell us they're right at 32%. I think. Food increasing since 19.
And that's really the big thing, too, is with the COVID, with all these things, the supply and demand chain has gotten much trickier. And unfortunately, the people at the bottom of the chain are going to see less. And that's your donations and things like Harvest Ministries. You guys and the pipeline of getting food to people. That's a lower priority than, especially in a crisis situation.
Plus the housing market. We have a shortage of housing, especially low-income housing. And we have people who will qualify for HUD. They get their voucher and they can't find a house, even with that. And then, of course, real estate has gone crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so people can't afford a house. And they're living with family, and they get in a fight with a family, then they're living in their car, and then they're homeless.
Well, and I personally think, and we're getting a little philosophical here, but personally, I mean, to solve this problem, it's going to be, I got to be honest, it's going to be a Harvest Ministries like event, where it's going to have to be we the people getting down and creating things like it. And I kind of, my brain always points to like, look, we're in southeast New Mexico. Land is not a problem around here. We got plenty of it. Yeah. We can figure this out. Somewhere we can build something that creates a hive of some kind of place where homeless folks can get back on their feet and transition to whatever life they pursue. Right. We can build a facility that allows that, whether it's a trailer city or whatever.
Right. And those things are, it should be an easy solution.
Yes.
It's not, though. It's going to be complicated. It's going to be very...
Well, I know there's not in my backyard, the land and all this, but I'm like, man.
Codes and zoning and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, we got a whole lot of nothing out here.
There's a lot
Certainly we could put something somewhere. Someone with a...
Yeah.
Look, it's just sitting here collecting dirt. Let's put something on it.
I agree, absolutely. As long as they don't put it next to my property.
As long as it's not...
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But that's the beauty. I don't think it has to be. I think with enough, we could put out in the county, and it's not in anybody's backyard, really.
Yeah.
And we're able to facilitate and make things happen.
In the meantime, we're going to do what we can.
But this is what we got in the meantime here. So please volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Donations, keep those coming in. I know, like Jocelyn works with our Food Not Bombs and stuff. And like you said, you deal with homeless, and predominantly you collect food. But are you taking like coat, sleeping bag donations and
so
stuff too?
I was just telling them this week I just gave away our last sleeping bag. So normally I go out and buy about 20 low temp sleeping bags.
But they're kind of hard to find right now, aren't they?
And to supplement what we get donated. They may and if you do find them, they may be very expensive.
Yeah, see, Jocelyn's saying she's having trouble locating as well.
Usually at Walmart you can buy the cheap ones for like $30 or so, but
any REI or one of these folks listening want to donate a couple hundred sleeping bags to Roswell?
Really, because people will freeze to death when it's down at 10 degrees, and that may be lower.
This weekend is they're like 13 is an overnight low, like Tuesday night, 16 the night before. Sunday night's gonna be another. These people don't make it the next morning. These are people die of frostbite or
and I'm glad they've
hypothermia and all
opened the warming center, but they also need volunteers for that. So.
That's part of the problem too. Is they need more volunteers. We need bodies. We need boots on the ground. And so this is really why Mark's here to begin with, is saying, hey, if you got the time, if you got the kindness in your heart to spend a couple hours, trust me, if you're looking for something to feed your own soul, this is it. If you're feeling that the winter blues, I'm looking for purpose, or what am I doing? I'm spinning my wheels. Spend an hour at Harvest Ministries.
Absolutely. Yeah, just come down and just come check it out. Come check it out and see what you think about it.
Come meet the volunteers.
When we're talking about hunger, a lot of, you might look at someone and say, well, they don't look hungry to me. But really what we're talking about is food insecurity, where they're having to choose between food and something else, food and medicine, or food and putting gas in their car.
Yeah.
So they may not be hungry.
But somewhere else in their life is lacking.
Exactly. And so that's what we're trying to supplement that, so that they don't have to say, well, I can either buy shoes for my kid or I can buy food. So that's it. But you know what? I tried to do a Matt Briscoe thing and look up. I thought, man, maybe I can come up with a really amazing thing about the definition of a hunger. So what I found was the word hunger is from the Proto-European word hunger.
Okay.
And it's the same in English, German, Swiss, Icelandic. It's the same. But the definition is, you'll be surprised at this, discomfort because of lack of food. So there's nothing amazing about the word hunger. And I did find out it is not related to the word Hungarian. So a person who is hungry is not a Hungarian.
That's right. So it's not a country of hungry people.
No. It's a different situation. Although I do know of a pastor who introduced a special guest speaker from Ghana, West Africa. And he said, today we have a gonorrhean with us. So a person from Ghana is not a gonorrhean, and a person from Hungary is not necessarily hungry.
That's a good tip, because if I meet someone from Ghana, I don't want to, this is my gonorrhea friend.
So I thought I may have to leave the etymology to Matt. He may have to. I struck out on that one.
Although I would argue, when it comes to the first man on Earth, hunger was one of the first things we figured out pretty quick, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And
you can eat of any of this.
I was saying, and that apple started a whole thing of things. So
that's true.
Hunger started it all.
Yeah, that's true. The first sin happened because of food.
That's right. Yeah. But Mark, as always, do appreciate it. And folks, please reach out. It is, and unfortunately, with the weather and the temps, that escalates the priority and the need here. So if you're able, reach out today. Call Harvest Ministries. Get Facebook, if you can find Harvest Ministries online. What's the actual website? I just Google Harvest Ministries.
Harvestmen.net.
There you go. You can go there, or do what I do and just Google Harvest Ministries, Roswell, New Mexico, and it'll pop right up. The Facebook page as well. Reach out, like, and follow there. Or come on by. They're located right downtown adjacent, basically. You come down on Main Street and about 3 blocks right outside the actual heart of downtown there.
And we also have, of course, a donate button on our website.
And money is always, if you can't donate time or food, checks do help, because that supplements when that fills the gaps. When there's a greater need for something that's not in being collected or donation, they can use that to fill that void. When there's not enough meat to deliver, we can use that money to make sure those coffers are taken care of.
We do. Yep. But our greatest need, imminent need right now, is volunteers.
Is boots on the ground, folks and please, if you can donate an hour, if you can donate a day, if you can donate, a couple hours a week, whatever it is, and please, and all are welcome. Bring family, bring, come single, come family, come whatever it is. We'd love to have you serve. Obviously, we are dealing with homeless and things, so if age appropriate on some of this stuff, and you know what? If they're real young up, we can find them in the back and they can move cans around or something.
Absolutely.
We can find a spot for them that keeps them out of the spotlight.
A lot of times what we have them do is make the day bags that we give out to the homeless. So not only do we feed them breakfast, but we give them a day bag for the rest of the day that's got a meat and some crackers, some fruit, and a granola bar and some water and that sort of thing. And so a lot of times we have them make up those bags.
Absolutely. And really, it is kind of part of the routine for some of these folks where they kind of have their, like, probably in the mornings, they're hitting Harvest Ministries. They got their day bag. Maybe midday, they're hitting like the soup kitchen
community
or one
kitchen,
of the community kitchen or one of the things.
Yeah.
And then by dinner time, maybe it's out in the park. There's Food Not Bombs or one of the organizations got something. And that's kind of how they do it. But I also will tell you, like I know Food Not Bombs, they could use a lot of things like gift cards for like McDonald's and various fast food establishments up and down Main Street, because you kind of have different, like the ones in South Main are a part of a thing, and then the ones downtown, and they don't. So like you kind of need stuff specific for folks in those regions, kind of thing.
And I'll just add this again: if you see someone that says "hungry, please help" down on Main Street corner, they're probably not hungry. They have options all around them, including Harvest Ministry. They can get.
Food is not the problem.
They can get 3 meals a day, and so we encourage people to, really. I mean, unless God tells you differently, I would say don't give them money. Usually that money is going to go not to a good cause. It's usually feeding an addiction.
Yeah.
So, if you really want to help them, go buy them a hamburger or donate to one of the ministries that's actually doing the work.
Absolutely.
To really help.
That's the one I always like. It's like you see them out there. It's like hand them a bag of burgers or something and say, I'm not giving you money, but if you're hungry, here's a sack of burgers.
Yeah. I think we can overdo that too. I remember Mr. Rodriguez, sometimes I'd go by there in the morning and he'd have like 5 Starbucks cups stacked up and a couple of bags. So everybody was helping him out. Maybe a little bit
Probably
too much.
the most caffeinated man.
Yeah.
Maybe decaf on a few of those.
Right.
But please reach out, come and this is how we fix these problems. We roll up our sleeves ourselves and we get to making our community better. And volunteering and being a part of organizations like Harvest Ministries is exactly how you do that. And by the way, you see a lot of other organizations that help with food and things. Harvest Ministries is kind of that supplement for that. So whatever food doesn't go out directly the Harvest Ministries doors is coming out of many organizations around Southeast
14 other
Mexico.
agencies here in the county.
Absolutely.
That we give to. Yeah.
So it's you're helping.
Actually, about a little over half goes out to our clients, and the other almost half goes out to our agencies.
Yeah, which will go to other clients and around. And so it's kind of getting back to what I was saying. Where it's kind of territorial. People that aren't within really walking distance of Harvest Ministries, it doesn't serve them. But some of these organizations farther north or farther south, they can kind of handle those needs.
We all work together.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's really what it is. It's logistics, and it's literally the food chain and getting the food to the folks where they're at and all that. So, but if you have questions about that, don't hesitate to come on down, and Mark and the volunteers will be happy to kind of show you the ropes and show you how it works and all that. So, Mark, is there anything we missed?
I don't think so. I think we covered it.
Well, thank you, sir. And
thank you.
Anytime you guys need our doors, please come out and reach out. We just appreciate the work you and your volunteers and staff do. I'm very scared to wonder what life around here would be like without it, and I'm not sure you'd like that answer.
Yeah, no. I know it makes all the difference in the world for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, it does. So thank you very much for that. And,
thank you for having me.
And every volunteer, God bless you. And keep doing what you're doing. And especially you 80, 90-year-olds, you probably got more energy than I do. We salute you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, it is 7:49. Let's pause for news. Kim Commando, quick break as well. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The deadline to apply for FEMA federal disaster help has passed, and while the Roswell Disaster Recovery Center will close permanently at 5 p.m. this Saturday, FEMA is not leaving Chavez County. FEMA continues to work with the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management to help survivors and communities in their recovery from the October severe storm and flooding. Residents can still use the website disasterassistance.gov or call the FEMA hotline directly, which is manned 7 days a week. Roswell has a new fire chief. Steve Chavez began his career with the Dexter Fire Department some 25 years ago. On Monday, Chavez was selected to serve as Roswell's fire chief. He has been working as a division chief in Roswell for the past 3 years. He was chosen after an internal application process, which retiring Chief Matt Miller was a part of. Miller officially retires at the end of this month. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
There's a big problem at the IRS with scammers filing fraudulent tax returns and then getting refunds that don't belong to them. The IRS has a fix, but it's 100% up to you to protect your money. I'm Kim Commando for Here.com. If these words come out of your mouth, what'd you say? Get a free hearing evaluation right now at Here.com/Kim. You can stop scammers from filing fake tax returns in your name by enrolling in the Identity Protection PIN program. That's a lot of words to say. The IRS will assign you a 6-digit PIN. Now when you file your taxes, this number makes sure it's really you and not some scammer using your Social Security number and personal details. Getting the PIN is easy. First, go to irs.gov and create an account. Then verify your identity. Once you're in, click on your profile and scroll down to the Identity Protection PIN program. This extra layer of security is free and can stop a scammer from stealing your money. Join 600,000 folks who get my free newsletter at getkim.com. Did you know that hearing well isn't just about catching every word? It's actually a secret weapon for keeping your brain sharp and staying socially connected. When you struggle to hear, your brain works overtime trying to make sense of muffled sounds, and that can lead to mental fatigue and even memory problems over time. Scary, right? But here's the great news. Hearing aids can take that strain off of your brain. They don't just help you hear, they help you focus, think clearly, and stay engaged with the world around you. You'll feel sharper and more connected to people such as family and friends, like the best version of yourself. Hearing well isn't just about sound, it's about living life to the fullest. And with Here.com's Horizon IX hearing aids, you get crystal clear sound, and they're practically invisible too. Take charge of your hearing and see how much it can improve your life. Check out Here.com/Kim to see if you qualify for a 45-day no-risk trial of the Horizon IX hearing aids. That's Here.com/Kim, HEAR.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure overhead, and we're looking pretty good for the next few days. It'll be a little on the cool side today, mid-50s, but we should get sunshine. A few clouds overnight, low to mid-30s, and then tomorrow, a little bit gusty, a few more clouds, but we should see some sunshine as well. Wind gusting at 35 to 50 miles an hour tomorrow, and our afternoon highs in the low 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaffetz County Sports Report. We got some tournament games going on for the small schools in our area, smaller than Roswell and Goddard. NMMI, for instance, is playing tonight at 7:30 against Mesilla Valley. The Colts are 6-6, but coming off a 50-30 loss at Melrose on Tuesday. Dexter at their own tournament at 1:30 this afternoon against Cloudcroft. Dexter beat Tatum on Tuesday 65-59. They are 3-8 on the season. That starts at 1:30. Gateway Christian at the Santa Rosa tournament today will be playing at 3:30 against Fort Sumner. Fort Sumner is 12-1. Gateway's 8-2. Hagerman 5-3 taking on Loving today at 5:30. Girls hoops tonight. NMMI at Hondo. That starts at 6:30. Hagerman against Lake Arthur. That starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce announced the creation of a relief fund to support and rebuild small businesses affected by the wildfires that have ravaged parts of Los Angeles for the past week. The Chamber will provide grants ranging from $5,000 to $10,000 as a direct support. President Joe Biden's administration has sued Southwest Airlines, accusing the carrier of illegally operating multiple chronically delayed flights and disrupting passengers' travel. The U.S. Transportation Department said in its civil suit in the U.S. District Court in Northern California that the Texas-based air carrier had operated unrealistic schedules and should be required to pay maximum civil penalties. Industrial materials maker DuPont said it no longer intends to separate its water business. The decision comes months after the company revealed plans to split into 3 publicly traded companies in efforts to unlock value and pursue focused growth. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness.
They're incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So the eyesight thinks they can challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight.
Being called a fox in your marriage might not always be a good thing. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie, for the Joy of Marriage.
In Song of Solomon it says, "Catch all the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vineyard of love." I looked up the word fox, and it means cunning, achieving one's goal by deceit or evasion. A female fox is a vixen, which is spiteful or a combative woman.
Those little things we do to try to get our way can ruin our marriages. Try just being honest and talking through the situation. Do what's best for your marriage, not just for yourself. When Julie and I learned to choose to do what's right instead of trying to be right, our marriage turned around. You will find marriage is so much better when we work together.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Check out some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. 5-ounce cans of Starkist Chunked Light Tuna in water are 98 cents each, and boxes of Food Club mac and cheese are 2 for $1. In produce, 3-pound bags of juicy grapefruit are $2.77 each, and select bags of Dole salads are 2 for $5. In the meat department, family packs of boneless sirloin cut pork chops and boneless skinless chicken breasts are both $1.88 a pound. These are just some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. Valentine's Day has been a time-honored tradition of expressing love and affection for the wonderful people in our lives. Why not honor them with the comfort and new smells of furniture from Glenn's? Leather, wood, and luxurious fabrics are beautiful reminders of how much they are loved for many years to come. Skip the roses and chocolates this year and give gifts that last. Come see us at Glenn's for Valentine's Day on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
How do you find a roofing contractor you can trust? You can randomly pick one, cross your fingers and hope for the best, or maybe you can ask a psychic to predict who's trustworthy. Here's a better idea. Choose one who prefers using America's most trusted roofing brand, Owens Corning. And rest easy, because Owens Corning screens their contractors for reliability, professionalism, and customer service. Why take any chances? Owens Corning, trusted contractors, proven products. For an Owens Corning preferred contractor, visit owenscorning.com/roofing.
For a free estimate, give Do Right Roofing a call today, 575-623-2273.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Psalm 139 can be one of the most comforting or one of the most disturbing psalms in the Bible. David seems to be speaking to God throughout. Verse 1 says, "You've searched me, O Lord, you know me." Verse 7 says, "Where can I go from your spirit, and where can I flee from your presence?" If you're searching for God or looking for his guidance, then this psalm gives us the assurance that he's there for us. However, if you're running from God or trying to hide from him, these words should give you reason to rethink your attempt to get away. Over the next few weeks, we'll be studying the life of the prophet Jonah. He doesn't like what God has called him to do, so he tries to run from God's call. Whether you realize it or not, God is always with you, calling you to be his, to follow his word, to listen to him. Do you feel if something is missing in your life? Maybe it is God calling you to him. Be comforted in the knowledge that he loves you and that he is there to lead you where you need to go.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. He refers to it as a last-minute crisis. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says it's delaying an Israeli cabinet vote on the proposed Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal with Hamas. Netanyahu's office says the Prime Minister's cabinet will not meet to consider the agreement until Hamas honors all aspects of the deal reached with the help of Biden and Trump negotiators.
President Biden said his administration negotiated the deal, but the incoming Trump team will soon be charged with making sure it's implemented.
I told my team to coordinate closely with the incoming team to make sure we're all speaking with the same voice.
But Donald Trump pushed back, saying his election victory is why there's a ceasefire. In fact, State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said Trump's team was absolutely critical in getting this deal over the line. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Carrying on a tradition dating back to the dawn of the Republic, President Biden has delivered a farewell address to the nation, warning of a concentration of power and wealth among a select few, and invoking President Eisenhower's farewell warning 60-plus years ago.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech-industrial complex
that Mr. Biden claims is a threat to democracy. Today, it's day 2 of Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi's confirmation hearing. She's before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Central Ohio stands to benefit economically from a defense contractor's plans to build a massive advanced manufacturing plant. The Andrel Industries facility would bring 4,000 jobs to the area's burgeoning high-tech sector about 16 miles southeast of Columbus. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 114 points. NASDAQ is off 65. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has arrived in Ukraine's capital, pledging to help guarantee the country's security for a century.
The Prime Minister believes Vladimir Putin's aim of wrenching Ukraine from its allies has been a monumental failure, and he's expected to announce more military and economic aid to prove that. But with Donald Trump expected to start pushing Kyiv to negotiate with Moscow, Vladimir Zelensky has said he's looking to Britain for help getting security guarantees to deter future attacks. Joining NATO is top of his wish list, but Ukraine also wants its allies to send peacekeepers if the fighting does stop, to patrol the current front line that could become a buffer zone in any peace agreement.
The BBC's Sarah Rainsford. South African police say the death toll in a months-long standoff between authorities and miners trapped while working illegally underground at an abandoned gold mine has risen to at least 87. News and analysis, townhall.com. Another SpaceX success.
SpaceX has launched a pair of lunar landers for U.S. and Japanese companies looking to jumpstart business up there. The two landers rocketed away early Wednesday from Florida, the latest in a stream of private spacecraft aiming for the moon. They shared the ride to save money, but plan to peel away on separate roundabout routes. Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lander should arrive in March. Tokyo's iSpace company expects its Resilience lander to get there by May or June. This is the second moon mission for iSpace. Its first ended with a crash in 2023. Keith Peters reporting.
Blue Origin launching a massive new rocket on its first test flight. Today's liftoff from Florida carries an experiment designed to orbit thousands of miles above the Earth. Blue Origin's been launching customers to the edge of space since 2021. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. The deuce of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Ah, yes. Almost there. The weekend beckons.
Yeah.
It calls.
I'm excited.
Indeed.
Saturday night, boys.
Yep.
Big game. I just watched the video, now I'm even more amped. I'm like, yeah.
You know
let's do this.
What's funny about that, and I love, it's not even ever the same voice, but it's just that mood that it elicits.
Yeah.
Is the old, like, 30 for 30 voice.
It's the NFL Films voice.
Yeah. Where it's just like, but if you take that and, like, apply it to other places in life, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a cold December morning when young Johnny had one request. A Red Ryder semi-automatic bolt-action BB gun.
Yeah, it's kind of like
They all told him the same thing. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. You just take that, just with that.
And on this day, that's exactly what he did.
That very soft, the gong music, and then.
Yeah,
those are fun.
They get me
NFL
going.
Films presents.
It's kind of like there was a span where people were having Morgan Freeman narrate their life kind of thing. It was he decided he didn't want to take a shower this morning.
Still to this day, though, my favorite of all of those. I mean, Attenborough's up there.
Yeah.
Attenborough has a great, like, if you ever watched, like, the I think it's the Blue Planet, or one of those, Planet Earth, I think. He did the narrations for that. But still to this day, my favorite voiceover of all time is Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
The man just has this certain delivery.
I'm a fan of, what's his name, McCullough, the guy that does the Civil War.
Oh, is it J.J. McCullough?
Yeah, he does a narration for the Civil War.
Right.
Ken Burns stuff.
Ken Burns, the Ken Burns documentaries. Oh, no, it's Peter Coyote.
Yeah, I think he also does the narration in Seabiscuit.
I think it's Peter Coyote is who you're thinking of.
Is it? Well, anyway, I love that voice.
Peter Coyote. Okay, so he's known in circles as like he's real big into like the psychedelics and stuff like that. But fun fact, he was Mandy Moore's dad in A Walk to Remember.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I knew him before he was even like hearing his voice on stuff. But yeah, he's real big. I'm trying to find his voice, just a clip of his voice.
Yeah, because once I hear it, I'll know it. If that's the one I'm thinking of.
Let me just do this. But it's he doesn't do a lot of acting per se, but most of his stuff is just known as voiceover.
Always do these things. Who is this? Ken Burns documentary narrator. Ken Burns. This is riveting.
Absolutely riveting.
Documentary. Voice.
All right, so I'm going to play it. This should be Peter Coyote.
Yeah, Peter Coyote. That's him.
6 or 7 big, fat, juicy buttons each.
They're going to stop that because they're talking about some things that we shouldn't probably talk about.
Let's see, which ones did he do? Actually, he did a bunch of Ken Burns.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't think he did the Civil War.
Peter Coyote describes the 60s. I'm not going to play that on the air.
Yeah.
This is clean. The reality of truth. Let's do it.
I probably had as much psychedelics as anyone alive. When you fall away,
It's what he's known for.
something happens. That's actually the beginning. And now you have to
What's really funny about that is, though, in A Walk to Remember, he plays a very, hardcore pastor, Christian, evangelical pastor.
Right.
So,
the Civil War documentary was not done by him.
No?
He's done a bunch of those, but I'm trying to see the Civil War one here, and directed by Ken Burns, voices of Sam Waterston.
Okay.
But I don't think he was the main voice. Huh. Let me keep digging here. I don't know. Now I'm on a quest. Who's the actual narrator of the Ken Burns Civil War? Or maybe I need to type it that way. All right. I'm sorry. I'm bad at doing this. This is why I have Sean doing this.
While Mike is searching, usually I'm the Googler, but he decided to take over the Google duty.
Well, I really want to know who this is.
But while Mike is searching, I want to remind you that, right now we are heading into very, very cold temperatures. And if you have any means at all that you can help out, volunteer your time. If you can donate any kind of money, sleeping materials to these groups like Food Not Bombs, Harvest Ministries, they'll be glad to accept your donation. And you can know that those donations are going to amazing causes. David McCullough.
David McCullough was the narrator. That's the voice of the in my head. If I want my whole narration going on, David McCullough.
David McCullough.
Yeah, that's the voice.
There you go. So now we know.
Is there a sample?
The Mike Winters, David. Well, I can look that up.
Yeah.
But why don't you give us a rundown while I'm looking that up?
Yeah, there we go. I think I heard a door open, so maybe our guest is here. I just saw him scuttle by. So
David McCollum?
McCullough.
McCullough.
McCullough. Okay. Yeah, that's him. I thought it was him, but that was when you kind of threw me off with the Peter guy.
Peter Coyote.
Yeah. So I was I don't think that's him. But anyway, let me give you the rundown while we're doing that. We'll get you updated with the weather. Ooh, find it. Oh, that music. I love that music. I love that music. That to me is happiness. I know it's not supposed to be, but when I hear it, I feel...
It's certainly not.
I feel comfort.
At one with the mountain?
Yeah,
Get
I feel
to it.
Very solemn. Well, it was a 12... It's like a
12-hour documentary.
12 VHS disc day. It took a minute. He was also the voice of the narrator in Seabiscuit.
Oh, okay.
If you remember that movie.
Yeah.
He's done other stuff, too. But I feel like he's involved with the John Adams and all that stuff, too.
This is just music.
Yeah. All right, while he's doing the music interlude. Oh, here he goes.
American churches and schoolhouses sheltered the dying.
That's the voice.
There you go.
And huge foraging armies swept across American farms and burned American towns.
That's the voice in my head.
A voice that has brought sleep to countless masses.
I love that.
Over the years.
Such a voice. To me, it means, I'm in a calming, happy place. I don't know, something about that dude voice. That makes money.
Slow, meandering fiddle is
I gotta
Mike's
be honest.
jam.
I'm thinking Seabiscuit's one of my favorite movies, and I think that's part of it. Like, just hearing him talk and how he goes, it just makes the movie that much better for me. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but...
No. I am a fan of narration, of voice acting, and when you find a voice that you really can latch onto, and same thing with doggone it, his name just slipped my mind. Coors Light, what's his name?
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott, yeah. I can listen to that dude read me the phone book, and I'll pay him to do it.
Yeah. I think I just like every time I hear that guy's voice, it evokes a certain hominess.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the Civil War he's talking about, but it's still that down home feel.
You just
to
imagine
it.
like a warm, crackling fire.
Yeah, and
a cup of glass of bourbon.
Seabiscuit evokes the same kind of feelings, and I think it's because of McCullough, Dave McCullough.
That's fair.
In my head, that's what it is.
When a voice can evoke a certain emotion or bring you to a certain place.
Yep.
That's the beauty of narration of voiceover.
Yeah, that's the one. But anyway,
the ones we chase after.
I wish I could do his voice in that, but I just don't. I'm not the same octave as that guy.
Yeah.
I'm just not there. I'm a much bassier, deeper, kind of annoying, obnoxious.
We're down here.
Yeah, we're down here, man. But anyway, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you update with the weather. Enjoy today. The rest of it stinks. Then we're going to have Don Well join us here with Friends of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. Give us an update and talk about some of the things they've got coming up at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge.
Yes, sir.
And then later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with the news. This is a local variety, business updates, all that good stuff. So, but first, the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure overhead, and we're looking pretty good for the next few days. It'll be a little on the cool side today, mid-50s, but we should get sunshine. A few clouds overnight, low to mid-30s, and then tomorrow, a little bit gusty, a few more clouds, but we should see some sunshine as well. Wind gusting at 35 to 50 miles an hour tomorrow, and our afternoon highs in the low 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, let me refresh this. This is not the freshest weather possible. So let me freshen that up a bit. There we go. Currently 30 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 79% with winds out of the north at the moment, 3 miles per hour. Sunny today and 55 for a high. Winds will be out of the south at 5 miles per hour. I kind of say, I thought yesterday was going to be our nice day, but not so much anymore. That's the nicest one today. Enjoy that. Tonight, partly cloudy, 31 for an overnight low tonight, so it's actually relatively warm compared to previous and future nights here. So tonight's not so bad, but still below freezing. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Friday, we're looking at areas of blowing dust after 11, mostly sunny and warmer. 62 are high tomorrow, but the winds are going to be blowing out of the southwest, 10 to 20 early. Increasing 25 to 35 wind gusts around 45 miles per hour possible tomorrow. So that's what I said, enjoy today, because tomorrow got stinky all of a sudden. Friday night, clear skies, overnight low of 28. The winds do die down out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. So good news is I think by early evening hours, the winds will start dissipating. For Saturday, sunny and 54. Winds will be out of the north at around 10 miles per hour. And then Saturday night, we're looking at a 20% chance. They're talking sprinkles before 9, and then the sprinkles changing over to flurries between 9 and 10, and then could see a slight chance of more flurries after 10. So all that probably means is not much accumulation. But mostly cloudy and an overnight low of 20, so it will be cold. Sunday, it's not talking moisture, but it will be cold. Mostly cloudy, early gradually becoming sunny, a high of only 35 on Sunday. Sunday night, we're looking at partly cloudy skies with an overnight low of 16. Yeah, we're dropping into the teens Sunday night into Monday. For Martin Luther King Jr. Day Monday, there's a 20% chance of snow showers. After 11, partly cloudy, high of only 33 on Monday. Monday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 13. 13. Yeah, we're almost in single digits. And then Tuesday, we're going to be looking at a high of 34. By Wednesday of next week, back to mid-40s. So, but 16 for another overnight low, or 18 for an overnight low Tuesday night. So these overnights are going to get real cold the next couple nights here. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Don Weld will join us talking Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Psalm 139 can be one of the most comforting or one of the most disturbing psalms in the Bible. David seems to be speaking to God throughout. Verse 1 says, "You've searched me, O Lord, you know me." Verse 7 says, "Where can I go from your spirit, and where can I flee from your presence?" If you're searching for God or looking for His guidance, then this psalm gives us the assurance that He's there for us. However, if you're running from God or trying to hide from Him, these words should give you reason to rethink your attempt to get away. Over the next few weeks, we'll be studying the life of the prophet Jonah. He doesn't like what God has called him to do, so he tries to run from God's call. Whether you realize it or not, God is always with you, calling you to be His, to follow His word, to listen to Him. Do you feel if something is missing in your life? Maybe it is God calling you to Him. Be comforted in the knowledge that He loves you and that He is there to lead you where you need to go.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true. Trusted.
Who doesn't think the dentist is a big deal? I know what you're thinking. What will they find? How much will it hurt? What are my options? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and I am here to tell you that here at Carabelli Dental, it is our job to put you at ease. With options like sedation dentistry, you can rest assured that regardless of what dental work you might need, you can get it done while resting comfortably. Call our office now and speak to our knowledgeable staff about setting up your new patient appointment.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from, well, he wears many hats, but his Friends of Bitter Lake hat for the moment here. Don Weld back with us.
Just for today. Friends of Bitter Lake, yes.
Morning, Don. How you doing today?
Doing good, Mike. How you doing?
Good, good. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Yeah, I don't think I've really seen you much since the New Year here. We had our one meeting, and you were.
I wasn't there.
You were on the lam there, getting.
I was hiding out.
Yeah, so it's good seeing you again here.
Yeah.
So, but of course, with the New Year means hitting the ground running. It's
you
busy.
got it. All kinds of things coming up.
Lots going on, and of course, Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is one of those things. We talk about it every time. It's like if you went to Bitter Lake back in September for the Dragonfly Festival, you come out now in January, it's a different world.
Oh, it is completely different. Completely different.
Yeah, it's a different world.
It's that's the most amazing place I've come across. I've traveled so much all over the world, and this Bitter Lake area really fascinates me all the time.
Yeah,
because there is so many different things.
And Don, for folks that don't know, he does travel the globe: India, Africa, Asia, you name it. You've been all over the globe here. So,
all 7 continents.
Yeah,
including Antarctica.
Even been Antarctica.
Yeah.
Nice. So, matter of fact, I don't think they have much of a vegetation wildlife
not
refuge
vegetation.
there.
They got penguins and walrus.
Lots of wildlife. Just
sea lions and stuff like that. But whales. Oh, but
not a lot of scorpions.
That's no. Yeah, scorpions and rattlesnakes and things like that.
Or people, for that matter.
Yeah, there were very few people. and they don't let people.
Obviously, I don't think there's no native to Antarctica.
No.
There's not people that are
no
live
native
there. It's all pretty much probably scientists and that types of people.
There are year-round residents there.
But they're all working there.
But they're all working there,
in a global...
they came in to do a job. They may stay there for 1 to 5 years or something, and then they're gone again.
I imagine there's probably some commercial stuff out there, because I imagine there's some resources that get tapped into.
We're not supposed to know about
right?
that.
Yeah, I was going to say wink, wink, nod, nod, you know.
Yeah,
but anyway.
we're not supposed to know about that.
But that being said, getting back to your point, you have seen the globe, and really some of the most fascinating things you see are right in our own backyard here.
The closest thing is maybe the outback of Australia.
Wow.
You know,
and that's got a lot. One of the because I was lucky enough as a teenager to go to visit the continent of Australia at some point, and I remember there are 7 different types of poisonous snakes in the world, and Australia is the only continent to house all 7 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's variations, different rattlers and everything, but there's 7 different types of poisonous snakes in the world, and Australia is the only continent where all 7 can call home to it.
That's right.
Every other continent will have 1 or 2 or 3, but not all 7. So.
And it doesn't even have mammals, or not indigenous. Mammals. They're marsupials.
Yes, all the kangaroos and the koalas and all that. Maybe are dingoes indigenous to that area?
No,
they're not. They
came across with the early humans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which and for folks that don't know, Australia was a penal colony. It's basically Britain's big jail. That is Australia's history.
That's where the white guys came from. Yeah.
And so its history is of criminals. Obviously probably it was a lot of political. So you know what I mean. It was a different time. So what was labeled as criminal to get shipped off to Australia was not what.
That's right.
These weren't like they weren't like raw. I mean, imagine there was a few of those, but most of them were probably political or something of that nature. But anyway,
you're interfering with my politics.
Exactly. Exactly. But anyway, that's the history.
That's what happened with our country too.
Sure.
They shipped them, and when they found out they couldn't do that here anymore, they started shipping them to Australia.
Yeah. Once they, because at first there was bequeathing the kings doing favors. That's our 13 colonies. Each one of those are land plots that the king bequeathed to
some wealthy family.
Based on the names of each state, you can figure out who's the families they gave them to.
Yeah.
But anyway, but then once that happened, people are looking for religious freedom. Hence your Plymouth Rocks and your Jamestown settlements and Roanoke and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's the history similar there with Australia. We share. We're all British's rejects at one point or another.
That's right. Yeah, and that was my family when they came over. They were criminals.
Yeah. We all got the lineage. Then they wonder why we are the way we are. Huh?
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, but back to our real
Bitter Lake
here.
Yeah.
Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge really is. And if you're not familiar, I'll say it every time. Bottomless Lakes is the state park you go and camp and recreate.
Right.
Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is you are the visitor. It is that place is the home for the animals and wildlife and plant life that call Southeast New Mexico native and home. And so they that facility is preservation of that stuff. And at the same time, in the big scope of the ecological system, it does serve as the joke I always say, the pilot flying J for our migratory species of animals, from birds to butterflies and everything in between. They'll swing on by Bitter Lake on their path north or south, depending on the time of the year. And they'll stop in to raise young, to fill up, to
rest a little bit.
Yeah, rest a bit.
Rest and recuperate.
Yeah, depending on the species, and then move on to their next stop.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to guess right now it's probably a little quiet. Like the people, the animals that are there are probably there for a minute. And then here in a month or two, we're going to start seeing the migration starting again.
Along about March, that time, around March, the cranes are our most common ones that we see.
They kind of hang out for the
ducks,
winter.
Yeah, the geese and the ducks and such. But along about March, they start moving north because they got to get up there when the tundra softens just enough that they can build their nests and get going.
Make more geese.
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of curious. Do some of them? So is this kind of their south for the winter? Is here, or they'll destinate here? Is their south for the winter?
No, not really. This is. We get a number of them, a certain portion that stay here for the winter.
Gotcha.
But most of them are this migratory. They stop for the refuel.
Gotcha.
And then they head on south.
And I imagine you also get some of the ones that like are sickly or maybe are
that
nursing.
Might be too.
They say, well, I can't make the trip, so we're gonna park it here and ride it out here.
One year we had when everybody else went back north, we had a pair that stuck around all summer.
Interesting.
Which is weird. And I think they even nested.
But that's the neat thing about it, because that we study this stuff, and that's what goes on at the refuge. Is when those types of things happen, they're out there saying, "Well, what's going on? Why is that? Maybe." And we learned so much about cranes this way. And I imagine, because like you said, two of them, thinking, okay, maybe
they're a mated pair.
And you're like, well, how long have they been together? Is this for life? Is this just for the minute? And this is the stuff they study.
Yep.
And it's really cool to do. And that's what Bitter Lake's for. It's for that. Now, we, the people, are guests, and we'd love to have folks come in, and we'd love for you to visit, but you're there to basically observe and report. You're not there to interfere. You're certainly not, we don't want people getting off the trails. There's designated trails. Correct. We don't want you getting off those for a reason, because you're upsetting the plant life, the wildlife, the ecosystem.
Yep.
That there's a fragile little dance that goes on every day in that place, and the more you're involved, the less that stuff happens.
That's right, and that's why we don't have an RV camp there.
Yes,
we have a couple of RVs. We have some people.
They're volunteers.
Yeah, but they're volunteers, or they're there for a purpose.
They actually sing for their supper, so to speak.
Yes,
they're
trained to do what they need to do.
Yeah, they'll work either at conservation projects, or sometimes you'll get your snowbirds that they hit the RVs, and they'll go from reservation places like this. They'll work the gift shop for a month while they park their RV and use it as a home base for whatever they're doing for their vacationing or whatever.
They serve a fantastic
Absolutely,
purpose.
So.
Not like Bottomless, because that's a recreational.
Sure, that's a park for people.
That's right.
It's there for you to
go out
picnic
there
and camp and do all.
Right.
Bitter Lake is a park for animals. It is there to protect and preserve.
We're there to observe. Yes.
The biggest fights they fight every day is keeping things not native to New Mexico in this area out of there. There's certain animals and plant life that over the years have been brought to New Mexico through various ways, shapes, or forms, and some of it grows heartily and works heartily in our environment, but it's not native. And unfortunately, some of this stuff gets to the point where it crowds out and destroys what's the native. And so that's a constant fight with volunteers. If you're a friend of Bitter Lake, that's some of the conservation projects. They're out there getting rid of salt cedar. Yeah,
that was the biggest problem, was the salt cedar. There's some other things too, but they're not near as invasive.
But that's the kind of work that's going on out there. It's like, hey, and at the same time, creating barriers to keep non-native out, but allowing those barriers to flow through to let native in, if that makes sense. Like animal life and things. Certain animals aren't native here and shouldn't be. Like, I know we love to have oryx season, but they ain't no business an oryx should be in New Mexico. I'm sorry, that's an African animal. And that's just an example. I'm saying it's not oryx per se, but just that stuff like that has happened over the years, and that's what
they've really thrived over there in that Las Cruces area.
Absolutely.
Alamogordo
area. As a guy that spent time at Holloman Air Force Base, I know a thing or two about an oryx.
I'll bet.
I've been out in some of those back roads at Holloman, and there's an oryx sitting in the middle of the road, and you just wait.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't move an oryx. It moves when it's good and ready.
It's like an elephant in Africa. Yeah. You wait.
Yeah, they are mean.
And they got the horns.
And they got a horn that's very intimidating. Yes, it will probably puncture any grill of your front car or whatever you're trying to do. But anyway, I'm very familiar with that stuff. But that's what Bitter Lake is about, is keeping, what is natural to this part of the country and allowing it to thrive without the outside world crowding it out. But and unfortunately, you and me are part of the outside world. We are a detriment to what goes on in the natural ecosystem over there. So that's why we want you to sit and watch and observe and learn, and that's it. We don't really want you camping out there. We don't. Now, if you really, really have your heart set on camping out there, well, through scouting, through our volunteers, there are ways to do that. Being a friend of Bitter Lake is a start to doing some of those kinds of things. So.
Now, we do have the scout camp out there.
It needs some work, though, doesn't it?
It definitely needs some work, but the scouts go out there for their meetings, their scout camping.
Well, part of scouting's lore is conservation and
so they're taught that.
Yeah, low impact camping, disturbing the environment at least amount of possible. That's very much part of scouting culture. So they practice that.
That's right.
At Bitter Lake. So,
yeah, and that's why we have the scout camp there.
But in exchange for that, they do work out there. They do service projects. They're out there cleaning up trails, and if a path needs to be created or needs to be repaired or restored, scouts are a lot of times
we can
Project.
employ them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so any scouters listening want to get out there. Matter of fact, looking for some Eagle Service projects, maybe we'll start with the scout campgrounds. Maybe there's a few projects that can get out there so we can get those back up and copacetic again for scouts to return to keep on a regular basis and doing that kind of stuff.
And I got more Eagle Scout projects too if they want.
There's so many learning opportunities through scouting through Bitter Lake. There's so much of what you're familiar and I'm familiar what scouting does. There's so much that goes hand in hand with what Bitter Lake's message is and what scouting's message is. So it does partner.
Yeah.
But
works well.
Always looking for volunteers. That's a big thing. I know you got some stuff coming up we want to invite folks out to, right?
We do. This Saturday, in fact, noon. Come out about noon.
And good news is Saturday's like 50, so it's not going to be like as cold as Sunday. So Saturday will be...
we'll be pretty much inside anyway.
Good deal, but the drive out there for some, it shouldn't be so windy or anything.
It could be intimidating trying to get from the parking lot into the nature store.
This is true, depending on the weather. But it is beautiful. It's worth the drive.
There is a little blurb on Facebook. It shows the front gate. This within the National Wildlife Service. Mm-hmm. This is an award-winning front gate.
Oh.
Because of the signs and how it was set up and all that. So it's been honored nationally.
Nice little feather in the cap there.
Matter of fact,
I got right there. Look at that. I got my
little
award.
You got it. That's the one.
As an award that was given.
Now, there's an extra piece on that. Well, you've got it there. There's an extra sign on your left column.
Okay.
There's an extra sign up there that more recently was put up.
Okay, an addition. I'll update my award.
There you go. You got it. Perfect. I'd almost forgotten about that.
Yeah, I was very thankful for that. It was very nice of the Friends of Bitter Lake to give that to me.
So this is a good opportunity. You come out. Join the Friends of Bitter Lake. Mm-hmm. We would love to have you join.
It's a lot of fun too. Like if you love nature and love doing that kind of thing and being outdoors and seeing and there are perks.
Oh yeah,
there are parts of Bitter Lake that the public do not access.
Right.
Almost unless it's an extreme weird circumstances, they don't access. But Friends of Bitter Lake, they're out there doing because it's they're part of the conservation. They're doing either projects out there or sometimes. There are scientists out there doing their studies, and
they need a little
help, a little assistance. And the Friends of Bitter Lake are the folks that
we have people that come in and do that.
Yeah, the store that you get when you guys go to visit, you go out there, and that is run by the Friends of Bitter Lake. All of the money, so when you're in there buying T-shirts and books and all that stuff, those go back to these projects we're talking about at Bitter Lake.
That's right.
So every dime you're spending when you're buying, which, by the way, we just had Christmas here, so maybe you did some shopping. But if you got some birthdays or stuff around the corner, great place to...
and we did see a lot of people out there for Christmas shopping.
And I don't care what you say. A practical gift is a romantic gift. I bet you could find a Valentine's Day gift or two out there at Bitter.
That might be. Oh, yeah, you could. We've got some... we've got some nice earrings.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah, there's jewelry and stuff out there, too. Yeah. But I would say you could create an experience. Maybe you get some stuff at Bitter Lake, the star charts or something, and you'd say, our Valentine's Day, we're going to go do some star watching, and,
there you go.
Turn it into a more experience then. candy and flowers and a dinner at some crowded restaurant.
Yeah, overcrowded restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with somebody bumping you in the elbow all the time.
Trying to hurry up to get you out the table because someone else needs it right behind you.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe make, but again, you'll be supporting the Bitter Lake Refuge and also, getting some really cool stuff for yourself too. So
memberships.
Yes.
Are one of the cheapest of friends groups in the area.
Good deal.
They're $25 for an individual per year.
Okay.
And $35 for a family.
Nice. And that money also goes to help projects and things.
All of that money goes right back.
It's a great way to financially support becoming a member of the friend.
All of the people who run the nature store are volunteers. They don't get paid.
Yeah, no one's getting paid except I think Steve maybe. He's the only.
Well, Steve, but he
works for the Park Service or whatever.
He gets paid through the federal
He's
government.
not a friend. He's a government employee.
That's right.
I mean, he's a friend, but his day job's government employee.
Right. That's his job is to do that. We've got to have a federal employee because it is a federal building.
Absolutely. Well, and it's a national wildlife refuge.
That's right.
And it is, run by, was it Parks and or whoever the wildlife, whatever part of the government handles that. That's what he's a part of, And so it's funded partially by some of the building and all that, but the projects, everything out there, that's all done by volunteers and community, the local community here.
Yep.
And the people that have boots on the ground day in and day out that know what the refuge needs and what the refuge doesn't need right now. So that's kind of where
that's the best part about it.
Yeah. So come out this Saturday.
12 o'clock.
12 noon, come out and, it bumps up a little bit.
We're having a potluck.
Okay, so BYOF.
Bring something.
Yeah, bring a covered dish.
We're going to have brisket, barbecue brisket.
All right. Are you on the brisket? Are you brisket guy?
Yeah, I like the brisket.
Well, I know. I mean, because I know Don likes to cook every once in a while. I don't know if you were brisket man for this, or did we have another smoke?
I went to
guy?
La Masia.
Oh, okay.
La Masia barbecue.
So we let the professionals handle those.
I could do that, but
every once in a while, Don will bust out a roast or a turkey or a dish here and there. Yeah,
no, not this time.
He's good at corned beef. Like when we had our St. Patty's Day, Don cooked up a heck of a corned beef there.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
We did. We did. That was good. Yeah. Maybe we'll have to do that again.
We'll see. Excuse me, corned beef. I'm down.
There you go. And I got a corned beef. Well, it's just a small one. I have to get another one.
That won't cut it.
Feed more people.
But come out this Saturday for the membership dinner event, luncheon, I guess you could say. 12 noon. Bring a covered dish. But if you really are interested in becoming a member or wanting to learn more, come as you are. Bring and you come. Say, hey, come meet the volunteers, meet exactly what they do, and this is your chance to kind of meet and greet and see what the Friends of Bitter Lake are and what they do.
And we have a pretty good program. I think we have 2, if I remember right, they said they have 2 speakers this year. I can't remember. As we get older.
Oh, I know.
I got so many more things on my mind and in my brain that I can't find my way through.
And then there's things I have right there, and then it goes, and then for the life of me, and then I'll remember it 2 hours later.
That's right.
That's what
it
was.
Or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well.
But there will be a couple guest speakers, and of course a great chance. And weather, it'll be nasty Sunday, but
get out there Saturday because you can enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like mid-50s and no wind. I mean, 10-mile-an-hour wind, which is not bad.
No, that's not.
And so
we can still burn.
That's a good maybe walk a path or two and take a little tour of some of the lake too while you're out there.
Yeah. And this be a good time. Now the foliage is down, but that butterfly trail, that's still a nice trail to
That's
walk.
kind of a hot spot or a recommended view for this time of year here.
Yeah, you can walk around there and see some things.
And don't forget too, it's pretty much it is open to the public pretty much daylight hours from dusk till dawn. The gates open at dusk and close at or open at dawn and close at dusk here.
Correct.
Basically,
and
fortunately, if you do get locked in at dusk, there is a way out, just not a way in. It's like a Roach Motel.
That's right.
But
That's
reverse.
Right. In reverse. There you go. There you go. We don't want you to spend the night there because things go on at night that you wouldn't want to be
No. You're at the mercy of the animals and what they do at night.
Yeah.
Not the freaks come out at night song, but the animals do come out.
The animals do come out. It would be nice. In fact, we may, at some point, I'm going to suggest that maybe we get a friends gathering and do something after dark.
Okay, yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
In the dark, type of thing, and go searching around and see what some of the animals do.
The nocturnal tour or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. We'll see if we can't work something out like that.
Well, come out Saturday if people got ideas, and we can suss them all out here on Saturday.
There you go. Tell us what your ideas are. Because we're always looking for new ideas.
Absolutely. Well, that's just it. We want to get and we want more people to see the beautiful treasure they have in their own backyard. You know, it's one of these double-edged swords where we don't want man's influence in there as little as possible. But at the same time, we want all people to experience the beautiful nature that is Bitter Lake.
And it's a rare positioning here because Bitter Lake is so close to a heavily populated, Roswell is pretty heavily populated.
As wildlife refuges go, yes, it is pretty close to
9 miles
population.
out Pine Lodge from Walmart, 9 miles out Pine Lodge, and you're in the refuge.
Yeah.
That's uncommon. Most refuges are a lot further away, a lot more secluded.
Or in places where people don't traverse to very easily.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So we're in a unique position here. Come out and see us.
Absolutely.
Come out and see the place.
This is probably one of the few times you can see a wildlife preserve and not have to put hiking boots on or get gold camping gear or whatever to get to it or be a part of it.
Yeah,
you could literally come in your shorts and t-shirt, walk around, and go home. And you know, it is you don't realize the beautiful asset you have right here in your own backyard and seeing.
Oh, you've got to, if you don't come out to see this,
and spend time in the gifts if you've never been to the visitor center, spend time, read the stuff. I will also argue this: as much as it is a study in natural history, it is a study in human history because it talks about the native presence during this time, man's presence, at Bitter Lake. A lot of the buildings and things are kind of historical in and of itself because of the New Deal era projects that were going on at the times they were. So as much as we talk about nature and natural history, human history is very much a part of your experience at Bitter Lake Wildlife.
That's right. Yeah, it's quite a historic place.
Absolutely.
In so many ways. The name came from the cattlemen that used to drive their cattle through this area.
Okay.
And they would come up here.
So I guess water the cattle.
To stop to water the cattle, and they tried the water one time and says, "Boy, that is bitter." Well, it's real heavily salinated water, and that's bitter, and so the name stuck, Bitter Lake.
Yeah, and
at that time it was a big lake. Yeah,
and that's probably why the water's bitter. And they said, "Let's go down to Bottomless Lake. There's more fun over there."
Actually, that water is pretty salty too.
Yeah, it is too. They're deep. They run deep, but it runs salty.
And all of that is aquifer water. It comes up,
which makes you more buoyant. Believe it or not, salt water, you're more buoyant in salt water than. So if you ever go on a cruise ship and swim in their pools, which you're usually salt water on cruise ships, because they got plenty of it around.
Have you ever been to Salt Lake?
I have not. I've always wanted to experience that, but I heard you literally can float on the water because it's so saline.
When I was a kid, I went with my folks.
Yeah.
We went up there and got to swim in Salt Lake, the Great Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And it was just you just kind of lay back.
You're just like, all right, let's dive in.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you could pull off a walking on water like Jesus.
There you go.
Maybe you could try that. That move.
But now it's not as salty as the one in Israel.
Yeah, that one was worse.
The Dead Sea.
Oh yeah, the Dead. Like I've heard same kind of stories. You literally just
you can practically walk on water.
Yeah,
there.
it's so interesting. But come to Bitter Lake. Come this Saturday, but come anytime. And if you can't make it out this Saturday, please, especially as when the weather starts getting a little warmer here, things are gonna, here in a month or two, it's gonna get kind of busy again out at Bitter Lake.
That's right. We got cleanup coming up,
and that's another great way.
That'll be. I'll think of the name of it. In the spring, we have the Oh, come on. The word just went away from me. I'm getting old. The time of year when we have our cleanup stuff is a nature day.
Oh, like Arbor Day or
Arbor Day.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I couldn't. It
or
just
Earth
wouldn't
Day.
come.
Earth Day's in
Earth Day.
Yeah,
That's
Earth Day's
right.
in like April, isn't it?
Yes.
I think and
that
maybe
is just before Easter.
Okay, yeah.
The Saturday.
So that
before
makes that
Easter.
jive. So probably Earth Day right around there is where you have it. Okay.
And I think
That
that
makes
was
sense.
yeah.
Perfect.
So that's in April, and we'll have some other cleanups even before that. We have to clean up before we can do the cleanup.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like going to the dentist. You always brush your teeth before you go to the dentist for your cleaning.
Extra cleaning before you go. You don't want to get embarrassed by the dentist.
Right. That's right.
So, yeah. So we will. Oh boy. Somebody.
Oh yeah, that's the decapitated one. We have a better one over here that still has its head.
We have a lot of things out there getting ready to go. So.
Yeah, this is the time to learn more about being a friend. Come out, this Saturday, 12 noon, potluck thing. Come bring a potluck, or if you just want to come and meet people, come on down.
That's right.
Or whatever you want to do.
And we would really like you to join. You don't have to.
Sure.
But we would. Really
I think
like
once you hang out and
us.
see what it's all about, you're probably going to want to be a part of it. And,
Yeah.
And see what being and even if nothing else, you signing up to be a member is support, because
That's right.
your $35 or $25 goes right to helping that stuff.
That's right.
So becoming a member does, even if you're just a member in name only, and you pay your dues every year and get your newsletter and all that. That does help Friends a bit.
It does, and we do have people who do that, and we appreciate them too, because, like you said, their funds help us fund the
helps
projects.
pay for that
we need to
bird
do.
blind or
right.
trail that needs repairing or whatever needs work out there.
That's right.
So
And
absolutely.
it needs a lot of work. These floods and some of this weather we've had in the last year have given us some things to look at and work on.
Well, I imagine there's a lot of service projects that are going to need to be done, and over the course of this, as the weather gets warmer here for spring and summer months, that's why we're saying scouting, volunteers. If you're looking for some places to do some things, Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge could use your help. We like you said, recovering from storms, everything else, but at the same time, just cleaning up.
Debris
and cycles and life happens and things
That's
happen.
right.
And this is like, I'm not trying to get political here, but when we talk about wildfires and we talk about all the things we see here in this state and certainly what's going on in California right now.
Poor people.
We live in a world where man has already been here. We need to be involved in these things. Sure, we could talk about fires, but at the end of the day, proper management of these forests, cleaning things that need to be cleaned, that is the key to keeping these forest fires from happening.
Right.
And it's no different out at a place like Bitter Lake. Sometimes you need to, because man's already influenced it. So we got to get in there and do our part to keep, you know what I'm saying, to keep it out of the way, to keep the debris. This is the problem. Like they talk about like making these areas wilderness, and like I get what you're trying to do in theory. Problem is, without man leaving it now it just overgrows, and guess what? Now we've got the ecosystems off balance again because we've left, and now the owls can't hunt because there's too much coverage. There's nothing to hunt there. That's why you see them at Walmart hanging out on the roof of the Walmart, because the forests are too. Yeah. And so this is the stuff we're talking about, and so good, smart conservation involves man. And Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is an example of that. And that's why we want to volunteer and get more folks out there so they can understand exactly what we're talking about here. So maybe we can, when you see these forest fires and things, we can understand and say, hey, this is the kind of work we need to do here to keep those from getting there. We talk about an arson and all that. Yeah, that's going to happen. People are going to be people. But if you do the work ahead of time, it turns from 100 acres, from a million acres to 100 acres. And that's what we got to do.
That's right. We're the stewards of this land.
Yeah, and
we were given this, and we've got to pass it on to future generations so that they can enjoy it as well.
Absolutely. And so that's what, if nothing else, Bitter Lake is that education.
That's right.
We want your kids out
learn.
there. We want everybody out there to learn about the land that you call home, and the and you know, it's one of these things that where everybody's right. We got to do these things to future man, but we also got to do things to protect our environment. And
right.
and you can't be the extreme of either. You got to have all of it. You got to have, because
somewhere
guess
in the
what?
middle.
Humans have to coexist in this thing. The big, you know, you want to fix all of it, get rid of us. We're the equation that fixes everything. Obviously, that's not an answer here. So we got to find that.
Somewhere in the
Sean's going to be mad. Creamy middle that to find that that fix there.
Was that his
Well,
thing?
he gets mad when he doesn't like the term creamy. So
okay.
the other day I was saying creamy like 50 times, and he was getting irked. So I just. But that's how it is, and so
yes, it is.
Come out Saturday, come learn a little more, come have fun, come eat, and come see what Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is all about.
Yep.
So
come one, come all.
Yeah. Friendsofbitterlake.org is their website. You can read more about Friends of Bitter Lake. If you'd like to donate or become a member, you can do so through the website as well, too.
And there is stuff on Facebook.
Yes. Friends of Bitter Lake or Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, Friends of Bitter Lake. You follow those on Facebook and you get information, too.
That's right.
Good deal. Did we get it all done?
I think so.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I'll see you here before too long. Yeah,
when is it? Well, I'm not going to be there tonight. I've got other things I need to clear up. But
we'll see you here in a week or two or something, I'm sure.
Yeah. I will be at the next meeting.
Yes.
Now that some of this other stuff is out of the way, I can get back to a normal life.
Part of life is you gotta go in for maintenance every once in a while.
That's right.
And it's time for that.
Little change here and there.
Going in for a lube job and an oil change.
Lube, oil, and filter.
That's right.
That's about what it is.
That's right. It's not that far off, actually. So. Thank you, Don. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, it is 8:56. We're going to take a quick break before we get you into news. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The deadline to apply for FEMA federal disaster help has passed, and while the Roswell Disaster Recovery Center will close permanently at 5 p.m. this Saturday, FEMA is not leaving Chavez County. FEMA continues to work with the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management to help survivors and communities in their recovery from the October severe storm and flooding. Residents can still use the website disasterassistance.gov or call the FEMA hotline directly, which is manned 7 days a week. Roswell has a new fire chief. Steve Chavez began his career with the Dexter Fire Department some 25 years ago. On Monday, Chavez was selected to serve as Roswell's fire chief. He has been working as a division chief in Roswell for the past 3 years. He was chosen after an internal application process, which retiring Chief Matt Miller was a part of. Miller officially retires at the end of this month. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Hey, Roswell, Happy New Year. Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're going to love. We resolved to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're going to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10 grand. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Sign up today for the 3rd annual Artesia 4-H fundraising shoot. The Freedom Shoot Red, White, and Youth is Saturday, January 18th at the Eddy County Shooting Range and features a 100-round sporting clay course. This year also includes an archery course. Gun boards, raffles, door prizes, and lunch is provided. For more information or to sign up, call 575-513-0144. Support the Artesia 4-H and sign up today for the Freedom Shoot, January 18th.
Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. Valentine's Day has been a time-honored tradition of expressing love and affection for the wonderful people in our lives. Why not honor them with the comfort and new smells of furniture from Glenn's? Leather, wood, and luxurious fabrics are beautiful reminders of how much they are loved for many years to come. Skip the roses and chocolates this year and give gifts that last. Come see us at Glenn's for Valentine's Day on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And it is closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. We're going to have Gina Yeager join us with the District Attorney's Office next hour, talking, I'm guessing, some DA dogs and all that good stuff. So all of that coming up next hour. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Just call her Senator Moody. Florida's Attorney General Ashley Moody will take Marco Rubio's seat in the U.S. Senate. Governor Ron DeSantis announcing the appointment a short time ago. The vacancy opens up as Rubio is President-elect Trump's nominee for Secretary of State. For Israel and Hamas, the road to a Gaza ceasefire has a lot of twists and turns. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu now says his cabinet will not consider the ceasefire hostage release agreement until Hamas stops trying to win more concessions and honors all aspects of the deal. Trump Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi back before the Senate Judiciary Committee today, day 2 of her confirmation hearing.
I will fight every day to restore confidence and integrity to the Department of Justice and each of its components. The partisanship, the weaponization will be gone. America will have one tier of justice for all.
President Biden delivered several warnings last night during his farewell address to the nation.
The president mostly used his Oval Office speech to warn Americans about the accumulation of power and wealth among a small few.
An oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence.
He sounded the alarm about misinformation.
Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies.
Mr. Biden also called for a constitutional amendment to end immunity for sitting presidents.
No president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office.
He urged the American people to be keepers of the flame and uphold democracy. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Americans stepped up their spending at retail stores and restaurants last month. Retail sales rising 0.4 in December from the previous month. On Wall Street, the Dow down 43 points. The Nasdaq is off 17. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
South Korea's impeached president has been taken to a detention center near Seoul over his imposition of martial law last month. Meanwhile, a court has taken up his case. The BBC's Shaima Halil in Seoul.
A group of Yoon Sung-yeol supporters held banners and chanted "Stop the impeachment" outside South Korea's constitutional court as the second hearing began. His legal team said they will present the argument of why the suspended president declared martial law, while a representative of the National Assembly's impeachment prosecution team said that martial law would have dragged the country back to the days of military dictatorship. Mr. Yoon, the first sitting South Korean president to be arrested, is reported to have spent the night in a solitary cell.
Executives at a leading Japanese bank have apologized, and they've taken pay cuts after police arrested an employee who allegedly stole about $9 million worth of valuables from customers' safe deposit boxes. The thefts, spanning 4 years, were uncovered last October. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Arkansas governor seems to have an issue with higher learning.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders says college professors should be fired if they're indoctrinating students. She made the proposal during her State of the State address before a joint meeting of the House and Senate. Sanders did not elaborate on how the state would enforce such a restriction or what would be considered indoctrination. She mentioned it as a part of an effort to improve higher education in the state. Her comments echoed rhetoric by her former boss, President-elect Donald Trump, and other Republicans. Sanders served as White House press secretary for part of Trump's first term. John Scott reporting.
The fierce winds are subsiding, allowing firefighters to make progress toward containing 2 massive Los Angeles wildfires. However, very dry conditions persist and the winds are not totally gone. The enormous Palisades fire now just over 20% contained, while containment of the Eaton fire is approaching 50%. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Grace and Earnos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Buenos Thursday.
Yes.
Happy Thursday. Almost the weekend.
A nice, a bang on average day out there as far as wintertime goes.
Enjoy today's weather because it's all downhill from here.
It's all downhill from here. So it's nice to know and be reminded sometimes that even though I don't really get a lot of phone calls on the country station, some people do still listen. And I was reminded of that this morning because...
Did you say something wrong?
No.
Oh, that's you.
No. This is actually beautiful how this worked out. So, a little backstory. I learned via remotes that Thomas Beard, our sales director, he has a certain level of hatred for most country music.
He's not country.
Well, he it's not so much hatred, it's more he loves to laugh at country music. One of the most hokey, countrified country songs that we currently, or were playing at the time, and currently are still playing, it's what they call a recurrent, kids, is a song by Luke Bryan called Knockin' Boots.
Okay.
He points it out every single time that it played during our remotes, how much he hated this song. He's like, I hate this song so much.
It seems to own a lot of real estate in his head, though, I must say.
It does.
Yeah.
So, another fun radio term, kids, when you're coming out of a song and you want to say what that song's name and artist were, it's called a back sell. So I was back selling Luke Bryan's Knockin' Boots going into a break. And I mentioned that our sales director, Thomas Beard, that happens to be his favorite song. I said, if you know Thomas, make sure to play it for him next time you see him.
Oh, good. I hope someone did.
A good, solid 15 minutes goes by. I kind of forget about it. Wasn't thinking about it. Was working on some other things. And I get a text from Thomas. It said,
is his phone blowing up?
It said, "Good morning. Why am I getting texts saying that my favorite song is Knockin' Boots?" I said, "Well, I may or may not have name dropped you this morning." It's one of those, like, mention you heard this out on the radio kind of things. It's instant notification that, yeah, there's people out there.
Well, unfortunately, his birthday's not till July. Otherwise, I'd say, let's all get him some Luke Combs CDs.
Yeah. Get him, let's make Luke Bryan, by the way.
Sorry, Luke Bryan.
Yeah.
Luke Combs, Luke Skywalker.
I know, there's a lot of
They're
Lukes.
all the same to me.
We have a lot of Lukes.
Yeah, I'm not a country music fan either. Right? Well, you know me. I've told everybody. People say, "Do you like music?" No, I like Metallica. That's my answer.
That's fair. But yeah, I've gained a new appreciation for the art of country music. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Well, you're a pretty broad musical person. Like
I try to be. Yeah.
You like multiple genres, multiple types. You can easily listen to something very poppy and then go very hardcore.
And this is, I was actually saying to somebody the other day, the amount of emotional range just in my Spotify playlist alone is just the first 5 songs. There's a song by Migos, who's a rap group, called Pure Water. A song by Ed Sheeran called Galway Girl. There's a song by Muck Sticky called Thingy Thing. And then a song by a band called MGMT called Time to Pretend. And then a Chris Stapleton song to wrap up that top 5. So yeah, I tend to cast a broad net when it comes to music.
Well, it just proves how old I am, because I've heard of none of what you just said. None of that.
Well, Ed Sheeran.
I caught that, but not the song.
Right.
And the only reason I know Ed Sheeran because he stumbles on Entertainment Tonight every once in a while. There
are some people, when you look at it, it's like, I know you're talented, but how did you get this famous?
Right.
Like, Ed Sheeran's a great example of that. Yes, he's an amazing singer. Yeah, he's a fantastic musician as far as what he can play.
But he
what
looks
he can
like
write.
the guy who's he's supposed to be the guy at the cell phone counter.
He looks like he works in IT.
Yeah, he looks like the guy at the cell phone counter.
Right. So that is one of those where talent really does pull the weight.
Yeah.
It's really carrying the heavy on that.
Well, I would argue that's like every young person I see nowadays. I look at him like, how is that kid famous? Looks like he should be thrown in a locker.
Case in point, the guy who, along with a consortium of billionaires, has now offered to buy TikTok, Mr. Beast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, he came out on TikTok a couple of days ago saying that he wants to make it happen.
Oh, the Chinese sell it to him?
He tweeted, "Okay, fine, I'll buy TikTok." I don't know. It's up
that's
in
the
air,
thing is they got to sell it to him.
If they'll sell.
Yeah. But then again, I guess because it's dying on the vine here in the U.S. here in
January 19th is its final day before it has to divest. From
if you already
ByteDance.
have it, you get to keep it,
but it's not going to update, so it's going to eventually become so buggy it's just not going to work.
I gotcha.
And actually, it's an active threat on your phone because they're not going to be able to update for new security risks.
Okay.
So even having it on your phone ain't
It's
great.
bad. Okay. Well, I don't have it, so. I'm
But
not
have
worried
you
about
heard the late? I mean, obviously probably not, but the latest. Excuse me. In that whole story, is that now droves of people are instead downloading an app called, Red Note. I think it's called Red Note. It's another Chinese.
It's basically TikTok too.
Short form video. service.
TikTok 2 electric boogaloo.
People like it for it over Instagram or YouTube Shorts or any of those because it's got a format that's similar to TikTok. So people are going as far as learning Mandarin so that they can appeal to the Red Page or whatever it's called audience. And they're converting over to that site. So it's the joke online is we're losing our Chinese spy, so we had to go find ourselves a new Chinese spy. Settle in with your new Chinese spy. I like to think my Chinese spies living a good life.
Days like today, I'm kind of glad I'm old.
Older.
I missed that. I'm not on the boat of the TikTok.
Well, that's the whole same thing with X is people, were trying to clear out from X, so they went to Blue Sky, and that's why Blue Sky's gotten such a huge uptick. They call them refugees.
Although, to be honest, I hear these things, and the two I still just look at, Facebook and X, they ain't changed. They still just as what they were, and they've been the whole time. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing is they're going to keep
equal amounts of response to the comments, you know.
They're going to keep feeding the same stuff that they were feeding to you before. It's not really going to change.
Facebook's a calmer, friendlier environment where Twitter's just the grossness
dregs of society,
of humanity.
That's why I stay off of Twitter. I've never had a successful Twitter relationship.
Well, and here's the reason I like Twitter. And it's my fault for being a fan of the Washington Commanders. That's the thing, is if you want quick updates on your sports teams, Twitter is by far the best way to find it.
I'll bet they have a presence on Blue Sky.
I don't know, maybe, but all I know is every athlete, every sports head is on Twitter, and the moment anybody farts something on the NFL, it's out on Twitter. And so I like that quickness. I'm like, ooh, guess who the Cowboys just got?
There you go. They're under WSH Commanders.
I'm sure they're there.
Social.
I'm just saying the beat reporters and all that, they go to Twitter first. And so if you want that kind of information, my problem, and if you stick to what you follow, it's not bad. It's when you veer off into that suggested for you tab.
Right.
That you get everything from, Trump's your friend to Trump's going to kill you, the 9/11 conspiracies to, everything's a conspiracy. Everybody's this. I hate you. You hate me. Biden's evil. Trump's evil. They're all evil. Nobody's evil. The earth is flat. That's all of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. It's so much noise.
Yeah.
It corrupts the mind. Eventually, you just got to shut off the
But
faucet.
that's where I'm starting to get to a point where, and I'm in a mental place where I just zip by that. Don't engage because you get mad. Although, I ain't going to lie, there's a couple fight videos every time I watch one. I'm like, I'm going to see. You put Steve Inman on a commentator, I'm going to watch it.
Fair.
Because I hear the term soy boy from him more often than not than any other person on human planet.
There's a guy, and I can't think of his name, but his whole career is doing short form videos where he takes usually sports clips and he re-narrates them, but like with explicit language.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and it's Joe, maybe it's Joe something, but his voice, he's got one of those like unmistakable low and outside for two.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got that voice.
There's a couple people that do that type of thing. There's another guy with a thick, I'm going to say Irish accent that does a whole like that. And I would like to say everyone saw Snoop Dogg do it once, and now now they're creating YouTube channels for it.
Still to this day, one of my favorite clips ever produced into audio form is, and I'm going to use an alternate word. Coming back from break, you just hear one of the commentators, and it was a baseball game. It's the flag capital of the world.
I remember.
Blowing outside for two. And he just immediately goes back into to commentating.
That is why you need to watch Brockmire.
Yeah.
Because that's literally the whole gambit of that series. He literally had one of those moments on broadcasting, except for his moment was his ex-wife was cheating on him, and he ranted on the air, off the air. And the way it happened was he got vanquished and so he went to Thailand to go drink and be in debauchery. And in that time, the internet hit. And his clip got him internet famous. So he comes back to basically society, and he's kind of a folk hero. And so he uses that to exploit his life. He's still a drinking degenerate, but now he's got a little notoriety. Yeah,
feels maybe closer to home than I thought. There's a lesson that broadcasters have to learn at some point in their career, and that is,
and it's Hank Azaria. So
with great microphone comes great responsibility.
This is true.
You have to remember that.
True. I think our guest is here.
I believe so. Yes.
I believe I heard doors and phones ringing and all that stuff. Doors and knocking. So I got to come a rocking. It is 9:18. Let me give you the rundown here. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. Then here in just a few minutes, we're going to have, I believe it's Gina joining us. Gina Yeager joining us this morning from the District Attorney's Office. So we'll talk a little DA dogs and just give a little update on what's going on over there. And then later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let us get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure overhead, and we're looking pretty good for the next few days. It'll be a little on the cool side today, mid-50s, but we should get sunshine. A few clouds overnight, low to mid-30s, and then tomorrow, a little bit gusty, a few more clouds, but we should see some sunshine as well. Wind gusting at 35 to 50 miles an hour tomorrow, and our afternoon highs in the low 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, sorry about that, didn't scroll high enough, 33 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 70% with winds out of the northeast at 6 miles per hour. Today is enjoy today because it's kind of gets worse from here. Today, mostly sunny, 55 for a high. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy and an overnight low of 31 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it's going to be warmer, but the winds are going to be a-blowing. They're talking areas of blowing dust after 11, mostly sunny and 62. That is the good news. The rest, not so much. The winds will be out of the southwest early, 10 to 20 miles per hour as the day progresses. Those winds will increase 25 to 35. Could see wind gusts as high as 45 miles per hour tomorrow. Tomorrow night, looking at mostly clear skies, overnight low of 28. Winds do calm down in the evening out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, looking at sunny skies, highs lingering in the 50s, 54 for a high, with north winds at around 10 miles per hour. So Saturday won't be too bad. But Saturday night, we are looking at rain and snow chances, mostly in the flurry form. They're talking a 20% chance at some flurries. Actually sprinkles before 9, then a sprinkle flurry mix till about 10, and then just a flurry deal after 10. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 20. Sunday, no talk of moisture, but cold. Our high is 35 on Sunday under mostly cloudy skies, early, gradually becoming sunny. Sunday night into Monday, 16, our overnight low under partly cloudy skies. For your Martin Luther King Jr. Day Monday, we're looking at a 20% chance at snow showers after 11, partly cloudy. 33 are high on Monday. Monday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 13. 13, yes. Tuesday, high of 34. Tuesday night, overnight low of 18. Wednesday, we start to get back into the 40s. 45 for a high on Wednesday. All right, it is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to talk DA's office. District Attorney Gina Yeager will join us next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I've heard it said, speaking my mind is easy, speaking it tactfully, not so much. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Proverbs 15:15 says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Sometimes my greatest accomplishment is keeping my mouth shut. There are times when we argue that it would be easy to lash out. So I have a choice to make. I can either feed the fire or quench it with my words.
Julie and I have learned there's going to be arguments, but we've learned to fight and argue, not to be right, but to get the situation right.
So the next time you're in an argument, try saying something kind from a genuine heart to bring peace in your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Hey Roswell, Happy New Year! Roswell Ford has a New Year's resolution you're gonna love. We resolve to sell more new Fords in 2025, so we're gonna make it super fun, super fast, and super easy, just for you. In fact, we'll give you the price we'd give to a friend or family member right up front. So bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it, because at Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Artesia General Hospital's Rehabilitation Center is here to help you recover and get back to the activities you love. Rehabilitation services include physical, occupational, and speech therapy, all led by experienced, licensed therapists. From symptom management to patient education, customized home exercise programs, and family support, Artesia General Hospital's integrated approach to rehabilitation is designed to facilitate your best possible recovery so you can get back to work, back to play, and back to life. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab or by calling 575-736-8174.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits or the astronauts? Here's Mike Winters.
The answer is yes. It damages them both. I imagine they lay off the broccoli and a few other things too too. But good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning for the first time in 2025.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Jeannie Yeager with our 5th Judicial District, District Attorney's Office. And good morning. And, of course, Beaumont is here as well, too. I cannot say Gina's here, but she brought Beaumont as well, too. So even though he's not on camera, he's underfoot receiving rubs and pets and all that.
Yeah, if Gina's there, Beaumont's usually right with her. So.
Well, earlier it was kind of funny. She had the head, and I had the butt, and he was under the table, and I'm rubbing the butt while she's rubbing the head. So,
thank goodness the cameras aren't on.
But it was innocent. It was completely innocent. But for folks asking what we're talking about here, this is something that the 5th Judicial District really has started with Diana Luce and this program, and we call it the DA dogs. And these dogs serve as support dogs to help prosecution in courtrooms. When they have witnesses or victims or people testifying that are uncomfortable or apprehensive, or if they're trying to get, if a DA is trying to get evidence and collect the story and get that information, a lot of the times the dogs are that icebreaker, that opportunity to take what's a very nerve-wracking situation for some folks and put in a little calm, a little normalcy, a little comfort in the room.
We've learned that people don't trust people, and if somebody's hurt you, why would you talk to somebody else that's an adult that's hurt you?
Sure.
But the dogs have helped bring a normal situation or a normalcy into a situation that's very stressful.
Break down barriers a little bit. Walls are created, especially if you're dealing with victims that have built walls up for defense, because that's a natural human response to do that. Sometimes Beaumont in the room or one of the other dogs just being there and resting their head on your lap or doing what dogs do kind of softens that a little bit and lets down the armor.
Yeah, Kiki, Tina, Duke, and Beaumont basically bring smiles when you walk into our office, which is amazing to see for these people that have been through hell and back.
Yeah.
Excuse the language, but
that's the honest to God truth.
They've been through a lot, and for them to come in and to this big scary building, to this big scary office with people they don't know.
People in suits and dresses looking very intimidating. Yeah.
And then they have this fluffy thing that comes up wagging and just shaking their bodies. And it's like, hi, guys.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. So it's been nice.
It's literally like watching the serious drama and then Bozo the Clown walks through the room or something. You know what I mean? It's literally one of those moments you're like, what just happened? And it just breaks the tension.
It is so amazing when
Yeah.
you're walking, when we walk down the hall and when they first come in, they're in our waiting room and you see them and they're just so serious. And then they see the dogs and their body language changes
Yeah.
and they smile. So it's a big change for them and
Yeah.
it's immediate. It's
Well, and it makes humans out of everybody in
Yes,
the room. And
yes.
that's what it, and at the end of the day, when you're dealing with the law, it's very black and white, but how to get to the answers in the law is very gray. And that's where you need that humanity to come in. And you're dealing with very human things.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you need to have human things to break up and get through to do that. And there's, to be honest, the dog is one of those easiest ways because as soon as you walk in, the dog's doesn't have an agenda, doesn't have anything other than it's looking for some petting or a cookie or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Its needs are simple.
Yeah, they're very simple.
So that sometimes just makes it that much better.
Yes,
And this is the great part. You know, since this has been going on, they're seeing success. They're seeing more convictions. They're seeing more people coming forward. They're seeing more people getting resolution from each and one of these cases. And at the end of the day, that's all the district attorney's office really doing. It's like, look, we can't make things happy again because some of the nature, but we got to give justice to people that deserve it. And we're seeing a better results just because these dogs are hanging out in the room. And so that's why, and here's the rub right now, is we're seeing results that are so positive. But here's the deal. There is no government funding. There is no anything your taxpayer dollars are doing to support this program that we know is effective and is working in the system. Everything we got, the DA dog program here in the 5th, this is all grassroots. Gina and some other volunteers and staff are literally going door to door, hanging out at fairs and various things, you know, letting people come pet on the dogs and say, can you give us money, please, so we can get more of these dogs. And next thing you know, we're seeing the 5th Judicial District, the 12th Judicial District, the 6th Judicial District, and then we're going in Arizona. And next thing you know, every DA's office in the country has a pound of dogs, or whatever you call a gaggle of dogs, I don't know, that are available to help people.
Yes. Sorry, Beaumont's pulling on me.
Beaumont's got Beaumont.
He just laid down. So we are working on third generation. This program started in 2014 when Janetta Hicks was DA, and it carried over.
Yeah.
It grew. It's growing. But the funding does come from the foundation, the 5013C, and we have a board. We have everything that we constantly are fundraising. We're doing a salsa sale right now. We have the golf tournament planned in October. We have different things throughout the year to keep the funding going. We also get grants.
But here's the thing is government should be funding this.
Yeah.
You know, this is a tool like anything else, like benches and judge hammers and pens and computers.
Yeah.
These dogs are yes, they're animals, they're living things, but they're also vital tools in doing the day-to-day job of the district attorney's
They're vital
office.
for our victims, for them to have a fair fight in court.
Yes.
To have somebody to have their back. I mean, these dogs have their back. No judgment, no questions. We're here for you.
Absolutely.
Whatever you need.
Absolutely. And here's another cool thing that you may or not realize too is these dogs do kind of do double duty. Like when they're not doing official DA business, they pop in like places like the library from time to time or various schools and things and just, you know, be mascots. You know, like for instance, I know like the Casa dogs, sometimes you guys kind of, you know, flip out your appearances, but because the Casa dogs are also very popular too.
Yes.
But like, you know, the library started their program where kids get to read to dogs, and so I know Beaumont and some of the others have done that in the past.
They have done that, and we're ready to go back over there. That was so much fun.
It is, but that's
for the dogs. The dogs loved it,
and that's the cool thing. And we want more of that and more because ideally, yes, the day-to-day stuff that these dogs do is so needed. But I think just to get people to understand, because I get it, it's the DA's office. You get a call from them, you feel you're in trouble, and so there is a stigma when that call happens. And I'm not saying that'll ever go away because as long as people are, but the dogs also give the human side to the DA's office. When people because I get it, you're nervous and all that, but you know what? It's a building full of humans too that are trying to do their things, and at the end of the day, every person in that building has seen it, done it, been there and done that, and they're just trying to get the best resolution for everybody.
Yes.
And sometimes that mission gets missed out because you're thinking they're the man, they're the government, they're the authority. And yes and no. Yes, they are here to protect and provide justice for the people, but at the same time, yes, it's humans. They're people, and these dogs, and a lot of these cases, again, it's black and white. Especially when you get into families and domestic violence and people, loved ones going against each other in court. When you have those things happening, these dogs do make the difference in those things. And that's where it brings that where it can get really ugly. It brings a little love in a very ugly situation.
It helps so much. I mean, they're not used in every case because some people just don't like dogs or allergic.
Yeah, not everybody is a dog lover. We get that.
But they are a great tool to help us get through some horrible information, horrible being in the courtroom. It's another tool for us for victims.
It does give strength.
Victims don't have a lot of. They have a lot of rights, but it's just another way for us to help protect them in the courtroom.
Well, and this is something that, and God, I hope for people listening that have never experienced this, I hope you never do. But if you're a victim in a case, especially a case of violence or of a family or something where there's a lot of, and 99.9% of cases are usually people that know people and involve people that you either come to love, respect, or have a very integral part in your life. That's not uncommon here. And when you're dealing with those situations, it is very hard to share what you share because, and it's for a lot of reasons. If it's a family member, you want them punished, but at the same time, you don't want to be the reason that they're in jail for the rest of their lives or whatever it is. And you're dealing with that kind of stuff. And that's where these dogs come in and say, all right, let's be rational for a minute. Let's stop, forget all this. Let's calm down. Let's just de-escalate for a minute. And then when everyone's kind of loving, then we can start talking and say, this is what's going on here. This isn't about hate. This isn't about point. We're just trying to get the truth, and we're trying to make sure that everyone gets the best possible scenario based on what happened in this scenario.
And we need to know everything.
Yes.
I mean, we get the puzzle and we get pieces. And our victims are our final piece.
Sure.
They're the ones that are going to fill in all the blanks from all the reports we get, all the information we get. And so for them to be able to come in and feel comfortable, because they've got to trust us in like 5-10 minutes.
Absolutely.
And these dogs help build that trust.
Sure.
So just having that extra bonus tool in our pocket helps us so much.
Well, and it's, getting into the investigative side, when you're talking Justin and some of the investigators that work for the district attorney's office, their job is to get as much evidence that these attorneys can use to seal the case in court. And a lot of times, even if the story isn't exactly the evidence you can use directly in court, it sets up, that gives me another person to talk to. That gives me another lead. That gives me another angle. And that little bit of information that they got because they were able to talk to a victim for a little bit begat the next thing, which begat the big piece that they needed to lock this person with this crime or that thing.
Yeah, I mean, with all of us working together with law enforcement, the DA's office, our investigators, the victim advocates, the staff that we have that reaches out and talks to people too. I mean, it's a combined thing, and these dogs are part of that. So each person that puts their hand in it helps us build the puzzle, and these dogs just help our victims feel okay.
Absolutely.
And comfortable coming into this building with us. So
absolutely,
and walking through the process.
And if nothing else, they're a thing to hug on while they're going through a very difficult moment.
They'll sit with you while you're waiting to go into court. So it's been good.
And that's the thing is these dogs. Yes, and that's the cool part I love about these dogs, because if you didn't know a thing about them and you just take off their badges and all that stuff, they're just dogs.
They're dogs.
They just hang out. They love on you. They do the same thing your dog does. They yell at you when they get mad when you move them, or they get, all the stuff that, as you build a relationship with your animals, you have.
And Beaumont's big personality now is, if I'm sitting on the couch when we're off duty, it's just part of his personality. So people know these dogs they're in their vest. When they're in their vest, they know they work. When they're home, they're dogs.
I would imagine that's like that's their symbol. All right. It's on. It's time to work. it's no different than we as humans. You put on your suit, you put on your.
Okay, here we go.
Guess what? It's work mode, and this is that for them. And then when they get home and the vest comes off, the tail's wagging. Just like you want to go home and have a beer, go home. That's what the dogs are. All right, let's go home and hit our routine.
And Beaumont
take me for a walk or whatever it is.
Will sit there and tell me, like if I'm sitting on the couch and there's one of my other dogs sitting next to me, he'll sit there and bark at me or talk to me saying, that dog needs to go. I need right there. So they have personalities.
And they're intuitive too. And that's the thing too. And that's part of the training because at the end of the day, they're just dogs. But when they're working, they truly are. They sense when there's something upsetting. They sense that, and they know, their training kicks in and know how to react to those things.
Yes.
When they see people, they've trained it on cues and clues, just like investigators are and everybody else that's doing things.
Well, the process for these dogs is they get to pick what job they want.
Yeah.
It's a one dog, one person.
Okay. So it kind of finds them, so to speak.
And then we have to interview, like I'm interviewing for the third dog that we've been talking about.
But she's very excited to meet.
I am. I've actually we've been matched. I mean, we've been doing stuff together for a year, going up and visiting and checking, making sure that we're still a match.
You've kind of hung out, but you haven't.
I am interviewing with this dog.
So is this dog going to be your dog afterwards?
Yes.
Okay, so is this going to be Beaumont's
successor?
Okay.
So Beaumont,
but you'll still have Beaumont.
Yes.
Because that's how this works. Is Beaumont is Gina's dog until Beaumont is no longer with us.
Correct.
Now,
correct.
how long he works as a DA dog is as long as he is able and willing and wanting to. It's kind of up to Beaumont at this point.
It's up to Beaumont. So and Beaumont's doing different things. He's knock on wood, we haven't had to do much crisis response, or we haven't been, but we've been doing peer support, doing different things, going out in the community. So he's still active, and he'll hang out in my office, and then when people come in, we're greeting, and Kiki's the same way.
Yeah.
But this new dog, he's coming down this weekend to see how he likes our house and everything.
Sure.
So he's still interviewing, and then we'll know then.
Has Beaumont met this dog yet? Because there's another variable.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. So he gets to meet him this weekend. Okay.
But Beaumont has been
Beaumont's just like whatever.
Pretty good around other animals.
He's great.
That's one of the things, the temperament of all these dogs. They all of these dogs don't get rattled easy. That's part of the training that they do is when the crying and the loud things hit, these dogs are trained not to get startled.
Yeah, I mean, and as long as the handler stays calm too, that helps their dog.
Yeah, the handler's the key on that one.
So if the dog looks at you like, what is going on?
And this is something, and it's just kind of where I'm a little jealous of you a little bit, because I mean, don't get me wrong, you got a hard job and what you see and deal with every day, but you kind of have a dog with you everywhere you go. Like, no matter the dog's, Beaumont's your life. Like, where Gina is, Beaumont is not far behind. And that's pretty much 24/7.
Correct.
And I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of cool that you get, I mean, at some point, I'm sure you're like, I just want a minute of peace to watch my own thing, and not have a dog demanding my life. But at the same time, that's your own personal mental health. Those days you have a sucky day, there's Beaumont at your side beckoning.
And he'll lay under my desk at my feet. So I find myself that when I'll put my feet on him and rub him, I find myself doing that, and I'm like, wow.
It's your own catharsis.
It is. It's like, okay.
This whole train thing does work. There's something to this. We got to look into this.
Yes.
But folks, this is where we're going to listen. Please contribute. If when the golf tournament comes up here, Salsa if you go, you have a DA Dogs Facebook page.
We do have a Facebook page, Courthouse Dogs.
Yeah, like and follow that.
Yes.
I imagine there you can reach out if you want to get some salsa and help out. But if you'd like to, even if you say, hey, I'm here, I was on the radio, heard, I'd like to cut a check to this program and help out.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing, because every dime you spend goes to training, to getting the next generation of these dogs, but also taking care of the immediate needs of these dogs, and ultimately promoting this program so at some point we don't have to beg you for the money. You've already paid for it through your taxpayer money.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
And it's been amazing. Like I said, we've had amazing support. Like I said, we're on our third generation. And without the community, we would not be able to do that. No funding from the state whatsoever for these dogs.
Well, and here's the thing I also do, because, every time you try things and new programs and experiments or whatever, there's always good and a few bad.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you hope the good outweighs the bad to see if it's I have yet to find a bad thing with the DA dog program. Like, what drawback is there? If there is one, I have not seen it. It seems like every angle of this thing is a win-win-win. Like there's nothing but benefit from it, and that's why I love this so much.
Right.
Is like it just makes sense. It's just like, duh, what are we thinking? Why weren't we doing this from day one? Why isn't this not only a concept, but more than a concept? This is an integral part of the day-to-day operations of the district attorney, every district attorney's office.
It would be great if every district attorney's office could do it, but like we've talked about it in the past. That they start these programs, then they find out that it takes
expensive. Dedication. It is expensive, and it takes people. Because, like you said, Gina, this isn't a job for you; it's a life now.
Yes, it is.
Even not happening. But if someone said, "Gina, you're no longer at the DA's office tomorrow," guess what? You got Beaumont. You know what I mean? It's still
I would
it's the
still
life.
find a way to use these dogs. With different agencies,
so
whatever I could do.
So that's a different mindset.
Yes.
This isn't a 9-to-5 job. This is, however, every DA's office should have a Gina Yeager and doing it. You know what I mean? I just think. To believe me, but I just think there would be enough people that would love that career field and love doing what you do. That I see some stuff, but I'm hanging out with dogs every day.
Yeah.
I'm every room I walk into, everyone loves me. I mean, I bet there's not a room you walk into, people are mad at you.
No,
Never.
But they don't notice me.
Oh, that's true too. You are second banana.
Yeah, they'll say hi to Beaumont, and, and then they'll look up and they're like, "Oh, hi."
Oh,
and
hi,
like,
Gina. You're here too.
But
I'll take that.
We have amazing dedication from all of our people that are handlers. We have 15 handlers that help with these dogs.
Sure.
4 dogs, 15 handlers. So there's dedication. And like you said, this isn't an 8 to 5.
Yeah.
If you're a handler, it's 24/7, 365.
You're living.
Yes.
Your partner goes home with you. Your partner is your family member. And
so we have really good handlers that have dedicated, that have stepped up and said, okay, I'm going to take on primary, which is the one where they go and they live with you and you're responsible for food and all of that.
Sure.
So we have amazing, amazing people that have stepped up and are like, we want this to go.
But they also see the good in what they're doing. And that, I mean, but my argument is it's not a bad gig. You get to hang out with dogs all day. Like, it's fun. I mean, it's like you're raising a life and like anything else. And there's an emotional gambit because we all love our pets, and these pets, yes, it's your coworker by day. It's your dog at night, and your Bubba.
I mean, there's days where me and Beaumont are like, okay, me and you need to have a separation for a couple of hours, so another handler will come get him. But
and then at the same time, you're also the mom, which means you're the caretaker, which means anytime Beaumont has a sniffle or something, your mom mode kicks in and everything else, and that runs the emotional gamut.
It does.
But at the same time, when times are tough, that dog is, you know what I mean? It's just through thick and thin, you have a companion.
I can tell you.
And it's worth all the other stuff to have it.
I can tell you that there's days that you wonder if you're doing something, and then there's the reminder, you have that in your back mind. Am I making a difference? And then somebody will come up and say, Beaumont, Kiki, Duke, Tina, Max, McKenzie, Lincoln, one of our dogs has made a difference in their life.
Do I need to update my cards?
No,
I think I'm
Max, McKenzie, Lincoln, and Lydia were our first generation.
Okay.
So they have all retired.
Okay.
And a couple of them are gone.
I've only got 4 on my roster right now.
So one of them, somebody will say, these guys made a difference. And about the time that you're thinking that you're not making the difference, somebody steps up and says, no, you guys are doing an amazing job. And yesterday, they're like, we've never met these dogs, but we've heard what work they do. And it was reassurance. And it's like, okay, they are making a difference.
Words getting out.
Words getting out, and people are talking about how they've been helped.
I hope before I leave this earth that this is something that's a commonplace in every district attorney's office.
Me too.
And because there's too much evidence, there's too much positive results to not it's worth the expense.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth the time. It's worth the effort. I get it. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but you know what? The rewards you reap from it are well worth the dollars spent.
Yes.
I would argue that if you asked every deputy district attorney in the 5th Judicial District office, they said they found benefit from these dogs on at least one case, if probably not 500.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It helps the employees. I mean, we all see bad things at our job.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're having a bad day, the dogs know it, so they want to go visit and just kind of give them some time to decompress.
I'm about to say, you're probably a little mental health for your own staff.
Yeah.
You know,
so peer support is amazing with these guys.
It's been a crappy day. Let's go to Gina's office and hang out for a minute.
It's like, okay, I'm going to go back in my office, just play with the dogs.
Well, if you play your card right, let's do this. But like, let's work it in your favor. Like, bring you a coffee, bring you a Coke, bring
I
you
need to do that.
You know, a gag, maybe a one of those office day, like the coffee cup full of Hershey Kisses. You know, something like that.
We need to do that.
Or maybe
I never thought about that.
You know what? Beaumont needs a taste too. Maybe a thing of dog bones as well while we're talking.
I have to stop people from treating the dogs.
I'm about to say, that's
like,
the big thing is the dog's on a strict diet and everything else. So maybe talk to Gina first before you do that.
You can bring them, but I'll give them to him.
But yes, but you know, maybe find out what Beaumont's favorite things that he's allowed to have are, and then hook up on those.
Fruit. They like fruit. Apples are good.
What about toys? Is he a toy guy?
He likes to cuddle with the squishy ones.
Yeah.
He will put his arm around them and hug them when he's laying down. Kiki loves to play.
Okay.
Duke loves
Are
to
they
play.
chewers? Because that's what I found my lab. Like, I give him soft toys, and she loves them, but would destroy them in about 25
Some of the
seconds.
other will tear them apart. They're like fun, but Beaumont likes to cuddle them. He doesn't chew them up, tear them up. He's not very runny or anything. He's like,
he's kind of a less is
I'm
more.
done. He'll run around in circles for me, and then he'll come lay on the couch.
He's the survivalist dog,
Yeah.
where survivalists use the minimum amount of energy effort to get what they need to get done. You know, like if you ever watch Alone or those shows, you'll get some people like they literally they conserving energy and things.
Yes.
Beaumont's of that ilk.
Beaumont will maybe if you throw a ball, will get it once, and then when you throw it
He'll
again,
look
he
at
looks
you.
at you like, I brought it to
Right?
you.
Like,
you go get it.
Now the second time's on you, dummy.
Yeah, and then the other dogs will fetch for a while.
Sure.
Lincoln, my first dog, would fetch until ran out of
So you had to
energy.
shut
he would-
Lincoln down, yeah.
But each dog is different. But Beaumont's just like, nope, I got it once. You're on your own.
But that's what makes them wonderful at what they do in their day. The temperament there. But so Beaumont's a man of leisure.
He's more of a cuddler than a retriever.
Yes.
So that's what his job is. So
good deal. But that's cool, and that's the cool part of this stuff and stuff. So folks, please reach out if you'd like to get more involved. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a place to donate money that will make a huge impact, the DA Dog Program is definitely the way to go here. To be honest, I feel like we shouldn't have to be asking you for the money for this one. Like, I feel like this is something that our legislators should be funding. That should be a staple. And I know they're all about to head to Santa Fe here next week.
Fingers
crossed. It's a 60-day session. I'm sure you guys have put a few bees in the bonnets of some of our legislators about fighting for some of these things in Santa Fe.
We're hoping that with some more Northern New Mexico DA's offices having the dogs, that helps us because it's Northern New Mexico.
They'll listen to them.
Yes.
That in the political world, they've got
Right.
more. They got a louder voice than you do right now.
But we do have stats and everything, so we can, back up what we're saying about these
Sure.
dogs. So,
And-
and we are looking for sponsors for the golf tournament. So anybody interested in
It's
sponsoring
never
the golf
too early
tournament.
to get on that.
No.
When is it? It's in
October.
October. I knew it's later
Yeah.
in the fall, but I was like, but now's the time if you're interested, sponsoring, get tee boxes or title sponsors,
Mhm.
and of course those are perks of sponsors.
Yes.
You get to put teams in and do all that.
You get your picture with the dogs.
And you get your advertising. The earlier you do it, you get your
Yes.
advertising. So when Gina comes on the radio, we can talk about how great your business is.
Yes,
for
yes,
supporting
yes.
it, and on the T-shirts and flyers and all that
Everything,
stuff.
yes.
So that's believe it or not, the earlier you do that, it makes Gina and people like lives a little easier.
It does make my life easier.
But definitely, if you've never, if you've experienced them firsthand, in either in a case or hanging out at the library,
Right.
then you get exactly what we're talking about here. And I just, it to me, this is one of those things, and this is why I get so stumpy on this, because I'm like, this just makes too much dang sense. Why are we not throwing all our eggs in this basket right now? Because tell me why we shouldn't.
Right.
And if money's the issue, I'm like, screw you. We got more money we need to do these things.
Right.
Where are we going to put this? You have found money to do this thing.
Where
let's
there's
find
a
money.
will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And I've always said that Beaumont, Kiki, Tina, and Duke all make my job easier.
Mhm.
All of our advocates, even our DAs, it makes their job easier dealing with victims and witnesses. Young, old, it doesn't matter. They don't care if you're little or you're big. They're going to love you no matter what.
That's the beauty of it.
Yes.
They don't matter. They see, and I'm going to take a stab at Beaumont and the other dogs. They sense. They see the person kind of sad in the room. They probably automatically just kind of saunter over that way and kind of sit by and wait. And see
it's not always the victim that we're thinking needs the dog.
Sure.
It's somebody else, and we're like, no, he's supposed to be over here, and it's like, no, they're going to the most stressed person.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, you
The
guys are
dog-
teaching me.
Right, the dog knows.
Yes.
Well, and that's what I love. Like I see those videos all the time of service dogs and various people that have seizures and things like that. The dogs can pick up on that before and get them their medicine or get them to where they need to be so they can have their seizure safely. It's that dogs, they got that thing that we don't have to, and cats and other animals do too, but dogs are able to train them to focus it for our good. Cats a little different. That's why you don't see support cats. They're a little more stubborn.
Just like, oh, you're in pain, okay.
But dogs are intuitive about that stuff, and to be honest, I don't know if we've tapped the full potential of what dogs, like how dogs could serve us in these various ways and things. You know, I really think people that have difficulties in life living alone, dogs can change the game for those, for a lot of those people. And as someone that does like my own, you know what I mean, own space from time to time.
Right.
It sucks when you have to live a life when you're constantly dependent on other people. And if these dogs, and I'm getting way past DA stuff here, but if we can find ways for dogs to do that for folks, why not? Because it's a win-win. We already got dogs and people that overpopulate and do all the things let's turn that into lemonade, and let's make this into something where all these dogs just do their loving companion thing, but do it in a professional, actual healing and helping sort of way.
And the main thing I want to point out, I'm just going to throw this out there, is these dogs are trained to do this work. So not every dog can come into the courtroom and work.
You can't just bring Scruffy in for the thing. These are working dogs.
We've had people try and they start barking and then it ruins it.
Sure.
We don't want it to ruin it for our dogs that are very trained, or for the people that are needing these dogs in the courtroom. Or any place.
Well, and this is the thing too, is these dogs are life forms too. They have feelings, emotions, everything you have, they have too. And your dog in your home and how it acts is one thing. You put it in a different environment that's familiar, it may not be in that same mindset.
Correct.
And this is where Beaumont and the other dogs, they've been through this. They've been training. There was hundreds of hours of them going through stuff like this long before Gina even got a hold of Beaumont. That's what we're talking
about. I would not bring I would never bring my home pets to any of my office work.
It's just not built. They're not built for that.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, when they get home, it's probably Belmont's best friend is down there.
Yes, they're great at home and they're cuddly at home, but they would not do good in situations.
And that's why we're
office.
talking in even though dogs have the instinct, if you don't train it, it's just like, in theory, you could be a police officer and walk in and we'll give you a badge and a gun and walk in every day. But if you have no idea of the training and all that,
do not have the patience.
then you're not going to be very good at it. And this is literally what we're talking about with these dogs. If this dog's never been in the courtroom, never been around people, never dealt with that environment, it's probably going to not do so well the first time it does it.
That is correct. I could not be a police officer. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah. But humans are the same way.
Right.
It's just, look, I'm not cut out to be a district attorney, just like Gina probably wouldn't want to sit here and do this for 3 hours. So.
Nope, I have to have my dog moving. I gotta
go. And dogs are the same way.
Right. Yes.
Excellent. I just saw the time. Shoot. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to cover that we just got sidebarred on?
No, we're good. Thank you for having us, of course, again. We appreciate it.
Yes. DA Dogs, do the Facebook search. I think you do DA Dogs, 5th Judicial District, DA, anything like that should pop right up. And please like and follow. Get some salsa right now.
Right. For Super Bowl.
And we're a couple weeks away from that. Hey, my Commanders are still in it. Saturday night, big game. So
as long as the Cowboys are out, I'm happy.
That they are.
Just kidding.
But I'm married to one, so a Cowboys
My
fan.
husband is a huge Cowboys fan.
Yeah, life's fun in our house. Although my wife, now the Cowboys are out, full on rooting for the. Now that they're good again and exciting and people like them,
Right.
She's like, I'll root for them.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I got my Terry McLaurin shirt.
Right.
But anyway, thank you, Gina, as
Thank
always.
you for having
and,
us.
We'll see you next time.
Alrighty.
And anything else we can do, let us know.
I will. Thank you.
All right, 9:58. Let's do this. Let's do your Chaves County sports update, quick break, and then they'll kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. We got some tournament games going on for the small schools in our area, smaller than Roswell and Goddard. NMMI, for instance, is playing tonight at 7:30 against Mesilla Valley. The Colts are 6-6, but coming off a 50-30 loss at Melrose on Tuesday. Dexter at their own tournament at 1:30 this afternoon against Cloudcroft. Dexter beat Tatum on Tuesday 65-59. They are 3-8 on the season. That starts at 1:30. Gateway Christian at the Santa Rosa tournament today will be playing at 3:30 against Fort Sumner. Fort Sumner is 12-1. Gateway's 8-2. Hagerman 5-3 taking on Loving today at 5:30. Girls hoops tonight. NMMI at Hondo. That starts at 6:30. Hagerman against Lake Arthur. That starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Are you looking for something fresh, or are you trying to find that confident smile you once had? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and I would like to invite you to our office to experience a new kind of dentistry. We have the most advanced technology and a highly trained team to provide you the best experience possible. Whether you're looking for a bright new smile or just want to make sure everything checks out for the best, call us today and set up your appointment for your next great experience.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
Benjamin Netanyahu says that a last-minute crisis with Hamas has held up Israeli approval of a long-awaited ceasefire. Yael Eckstein tells Salem Radio that Israelis are feeling contradictory emotions about the deal.
On one hand, we need to get these hostages home, and we'll do it at a very, very difficult price because we value life and we look at life as holy and sacred. Every life is worth anything in order to just free them. But on the other hand, when you're freeing terrorists with blood on their hand in order to get back your children, it's a very difficult compromise.
Eckstein, president and CEO of the International Fellowship of